started recording.
Yes. Introduce
Replays.
yourself below.
It's me, Willow.
And it
back.
is me,
Psycho.
Psycho. And I think the Eschencaster is actually pretty good.
Yes, so take that opinion as you will. Okay, what was it? It was HE versus Brett TV2.
Yeah.
That's the one.
No, no.
Where's it?
No. It was
Cuts.
Brett versus Empire, all caps.
Oh yeah, it's this one. This
Yeah,
one. Okay.
I think it's that one. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely it.
Right.
Baudelaire.
I'm using an older version. Hopefully it's alright.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, so you got a generic Empire Lord. Interesting choice already. Oh, it's on the Mortis Waste as well. The second flattest map, right before Crossroads. Here we're looking at a 2-2, so it's double Brett versus Empire and Coast.
We didn't interfere with the others, so
Oh, so it's two isolated 1v1s
two
basically.
isolated battles. That's the best way to look at it.
I mean, I guess Ted is playing Wardlow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But man, those men-at-arms, am I right?
Men at Arms. That's 4 units, or actually 6 if you count the halberd units.
Yeah. And two peasant bowmen.
Yes.
And a trebuchet.
Oh, okay. Let's pause this here. So, these armies we can have a brief look at, just to sort of see what kind of things they're bringing against Bretonnia. So with Vampire Coast, Vampire Coast, you'll often see a box like this. Because just how much cav they have, you'll often see like depth guard polearms, which are kind of common in this matchup. Because you just sort of have a box formation. There's also mortars. Who is playing Coast? Necrotic, you say? Psycho?
Yeah.
Is it Necrotic?
Oh yeah,
No,
this
Coast.
is Necrotic, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Actually,
playing
I'll just realize I'll stream it in Discord as well.
That he used the mortars to pretty much devastate the archers.
Yeah, that's what you bring. You bring the mortars, the basic Coast outline against Bretonnia, which is what you should expect to see as Bretonnia. Is you should expect to see just lots of polearms, depth guard, and regular ones in the back line, and then just armor piercing and the mortars. You might see a cannon as well, just to really deal with heavy cav. But typically, you just see mortars to kill them archers, because we'll look at it later. But archers are the main counter for Coast in all varieties, and with the cost efficiency of them.
Yeah, because
how they are
very low armor on all of their units. Very susceptible to being shot.
Can also be a good idea to bring some crabs. If they bring Questing Knights, they'll get melted, but they do very well against pretty much all other types of cav. So and Questing Knights, because they don't have a shield, typically you won't bring them against Coast. But we'll go on to why you should probably bring these are basically the one reason why you bring at least 1 or 2 Questing Knights against Coast, because of crabs. He also has a Vampire Caster. Yes, Vampire Caster, Fleet Admiral, Pole Ambrarian. The 2 mortars, gun line, 2 guns, black spot. Just a lot of anti-large, a lot of armor piercing for the cav, and then you've got the mortars for the archers, more or less. Looking over at the Empire army,
Yes. I decided to bring 4 units of skirmishers, 2 outriders who can armor piercing, and also pistoliers to just keep riders busy. 3. Then you got the Empire General on a Hippogriff to function as a terror bomb.
Yeah, terror bomb for those peasant boys.
He's not actually that bad, stat-wise.
What's that item he gets there? What's that?
He gets the Rune Blade, which increases his base and armor piercing damage by 50%.
And a big splash as well, yeah.
By 50%. He can delete a section of a unit by just running into it.
You've also got the Grey Wizard here, with the Withering, the Mithering.
So I can pendulum some
I love trying to select the spells. Nope.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. The Withering and Enfeebling Foe, and Miasma.
Yes.
So Miasma is pretty good because it has that little bit of a slow, which can really help against all the cav, and it does a fair amount of damage as well, for how cheap it is, I mean.
Yeah. Then I have a front line of 4 spears, supported by 3 handgunners, and then behind those is 2 flagellants, and then the Swords of Sigmar, unbreakable infantry. and then 2 Empire Knights.
Yeah, very strong
To
Empire
function
infantry.
yeah, to function as like if they try and go for the handgunners, I would throw the Empire Knights to hold them in
Yeah,
place
blocking
so the
unit.
handgunners can shoot them.
Acting as mass to hold things in place pretty well. Alright, we'll go through from those 2 armies. Let's have a look at the
Yes, and now you get to
the
meet
Bretonnia.
the Bretonnia armies.
Yay! So here we have Raponta's subfaction. Can be viable to actually go Raponta's subfaction because of Henry Le Massif, who is basically a paladin that you can put on a griffin, but he also counts as large while on foot. So he has his niche uses. Mainly that there is no other option for a second griffin, pretty much. So you can, not that you can actually bring the first griffin. So it's basically if you want griffin as a hero option instead of a lord option, you can bring Henry Le Massif, who's unique to the subfaction. And he's also just overall better in stats than the normal paladin. So he can act as a good terror bomb or like a good guardian unit for Rapons. Frontline being men at arms in a matchup like this. Men at arms trade very well against zombies. They trade very well against Empire spears. They'll trade well against everything apart from flagellants, basically, in terms of a front line. Pox arrows, very good since the change to poison damage. No longer can they poison their own knights, so you bring the pox arrows just to apply poison to anything the knights are fighting in the back line, and it means they're much more likely to win it. They also work just as very good archers, as we talked about in the last session. The Grey Relique is there to make sure that the leadership units hold and do win the front line in those fights where they can win and they don't just run away. Also got a Blessed Field Trebuchet. Could be good against the Sirens because of the magical damage, and also the tight formations of Empire can be pretty helpful. A Life Wizard for healing.
Well,
What were you
I
going
was
to say?
going to make a point about the Trebuchet because of the fact that the dangerous thing about bringing a Trebuchet against Empire is that Empire cannons can snipe them very easily. Like, if I traded one of the Empire Knights out and then shot out his Trebuchets, there'd be nothing he could do against me. I could just shoot him for days. He'd have to come forward into handguns.
Yeah, so bringing one, not the. I mean, it's nice to bring one because he has a good other sources of like magic damage in case he goes up against coast.
And they're not too expensive.
And they're
at
not.
Like what, 100 gold?
The blessed one is 850, I think.
Yeah.
So the
But
blessed
if it was
one.
a regular one.
A regular one just to apply some pressure against an Empire army that doesn't have any cannons or something. But against them, Bretonnia will typically have to deal with cannons when dealing with Empire because of how good they are against its heavy cav. Of course, the cav core for Bretonnia, you have Raponce applying that. You notice the formation here with Raponce. Raponce has her buff that applies 9 melee attack and 9 melee defense, everything in range. So she has a very good, strong squad here of a Questing Knight, 2 Knights of the Realm, a pretty unstoppable squad unless she runs into some serious like Altdorf Griffites or anything, but apart from that she'll be pretty free to run around wherever she wants and smash around. She of course also has, does she have item? Yeah, she has her item, so she's just going to be a very hard hitter on her own as well, along with the support that she has around her. And then of course you've got the damsel to heal everything up over here, or heal up Henry Le Massif, as I am sure she has Regrowth and Shield of Thorns and Earthblood, which are just the best spells for this situation. Earthblood would be really good over here, and then Regrowth would be good on these two. Yeah. Of course, and there's also 2 units of pole arms, just in case, because she's probably going to have to run that entire cav squad away. There's not going to be much to cover the back line, so the pole arms just being there just in case of Empire Knights, or in case there's some crabs in the front line here.
If I bring Demigryphs.
Yeah, Demigryphs as well, just pretty solid, nice armor piercing anti-large that Bretonnia otherwise can lack in the sort of front line department. Over here with good old Ted, very similar build, except for me has a different Grail, a much more expensive cav squad, being Albrecht Bordelot, 2 Grail Knights and Grail Guardians. But really asking for it here against 2 factions that can bring cannons. This is really asking for it to be shot at, because these are tasty targets for cannons. They're so densed up, and you're almost guaranteed to kill at least 3 models with a cannonball. And you can't heal those dead models, so very tasty targets.
Every single spell for the Life Wizard, and I don't think Ted did either.
No, they both got 3 of the spells. The
3 most important spells.
The 3 most, commonly saw ones at least. Good old Regrowth, Shield of Thorns, Earthblood. You can sometimes get away with just dropping Regrowth if you aren't too focused on your... Like in this situation, I probably wouldn't bring Regrowth because Albrecht doesn't have that much of a healing pool anyway. Just spamming Earthbloods on his Grail Knights and Grail Guardians would probably be more efficient in terms of mana usage. I say mana, winds of magic. Front line, pretty similar with the men at arm front line. Same reason it trades well against zombies and Empire. Again, fire arrows instead of pox arrows. They don't apply the burnt debuff, do they? No, they don't. So they're
no,
not. They just deal fire damage, which doesn't really have much of a
good
use
against
here.
Regeneration, actually, against
Yeah. So
Promethean
Luther
Hulk.
Harken, the Promethean Hulk? Oh yeah, Promethean Hulks. Yeah,
Yeah, Promethean Hulks, and also Luther Harkin, and most of the Vampire Lords all will have a weakness to fire.
yeah, most of vampire. Although I think it's just the RRR Promethean ones that have a weakness to fire.
Yeah, it's the one with the regeneration.
Yeah, the regeneration one. Yeah, but not too much against the Empire. Regular archers, just for that extra 50 gold, would be more efficient. But against Vampire Coast, they can have their use.
Revenge is the only other unit with regeneration.
But you'd also want to see probably more. There's also Luther Harkin, I believe. We were talking about Alexis. You dumb. He's a mentor as well. Jesus. Anyway, you probably want to see more archers against Coast rather than taking fire archers because of just how weak they are to arrows. So
Falafel says Vampire Lords don't have fire weakness. And as a question,
I believe. Well, if you go through them, it would be Luther Harkin does. Luther on is Terrorgeist because the Terrorgeist is regeneration.
The Terrorgeist doesn't have
But yeah, besides that, they just have it's the Tomb King's Lords that have that have weakness to fire. I think basic Vampire Lords don't unless they have the regeneration because they're on a Terrorgeist or something. Frontline Holy Wardens of La Massif can be useful because they actually do very well against Flagellants and because of Sirens. So they're a pretty solid unit as well, and because they're very high leadership and immune to psychology. Has a paladin there just in case there's some large that tries to run into the front line or something that tries to go after his archers and the likes.
And the Grail Reliquary.
And there's a Grail Reliquary as well, so you got 2 leadership units here just to buff the leadership of these men at arms and the polearm. There's all these spears in the back as well. Going a bit cheaper on the back line support, but works as just tie stuff down. Works pretty well anyway.
But yeah, the main Vampire Lords separately have specialized regeneration, which requires them to be in combat. So
yeah, but the plus side for that is that they don't have weakness to fire as regular regeneration does.
Well, also, like, Undead used to have, like, weakness to fire in general, but they took that away because...
Yeah, we just brought fire then, kind of narrowed down what you could do against Coast. We also see in this back, got some hounds here. Could be good to go after the trebuchets, or they're very good against peasant archers as well. Of course, if how much do you want to bet? I mean, I haven't watched this yet, so you obviously know, but I bet Ted doesn't notice these are here.
I actually never watched Ted's side, so I have no idea how that
We'll find out, but I can almost certain.
Said that is the archers got blown the fuck up, and he couldn't get his calf through or something.
Yeah, because Ted could just turn around here and go in a circlement, and he'd have these hounds dead. Entirely destroyed. These are Grail Knights, and because he doesn't really need the calf to rush forward just yet, he could probably very easily take off. It's always good just to have a quick look, especially on maps that you know that people can deploy behind you, because as you can see on the minimap here, there's no sign of them on the minimap. There's like this tiny little blue dot, but that'd be so hard to see that you wouldn't be able to take a quick glance at the minimap and think, okay, I'm safe. So it's always worth just taking a look round before you advance forward, just to see there's something hiding in the corner. So that is the armies.
The doggos.
Let's watch how this proceeds.
I guess which army we're going to watch first, Ted's or Quinn's?
This looks like... I'll watch Quinn's. Actually, no, I'm curious how these... I'll watch Ted's first.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so you can see just how much mortars do to peasant line. He'd be better off targeting the archers, but you can just see that's like half that unit gone already from one mortar volley. They probably would have broken if not for the paladin. Yeah. And of course these hounds just being left... These dogs being left to their own devices. The cav moving around.
You know, gnawing on some bones in the desert.
But yeah, this is why you bring the mortars.
The caster's still at the starting position.
Oh, he left the caster behind. Oh dear, Ted. Ted, no. I don't think she'll... Well, she might actually. Yeah, look, they're going for a...
No, he's
oh dear. Disappointment.
He's being a nice guy. He's just like, stay back, my lady.
Milady.
Too dangerous. He did all just forgot.
Oh no. No, I just don't bring the caster. I don't forget him while he's on the field. That would be just... Okay, so you can see here the archers just getting destroyed by mortar fire. Very close to routing. But thankfully these leadership tools keeping them in the fight for now. Because they have half their health left. They still have plenty of volume of fire they should be doing, so it's a good thing they aren't routing off just yet. Otherwise they'd be out of the game mostly. Ted's caster looks like she might be routing very early on. That would be most unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
If those Grail Guardians can't get over. Those archers being knocked out very early, which is why you just need to bring such a large volume of archers, because now he hasn't got really anything to do against the guns. Yeah, much higher quantity being better.
It'd just be too many shots. And since Coast want to box up and not move forward, you have the tempo. You can push forward and just shoot them.
Yeah, you want all the archers you can carry if you want to go against Coast. Yeah, you see, there goes all of Ted's Archer's Corps, pretty much, and getting the hounds sweeping around them. He has no Archer Corps anymore, so it's going to be really tough to deal with these handguns and these otherwise unshielded units in the back line. But the front line is clashing. Got a flank of Cav going around.
No questing knights, I think.
Yeah, no questing knights.
Past the lamp, the
Prometheans. Grail Knights will probably be able to win, but it's not efficient in their time usage, I wouldn't. But especially since they can get healed as well. There's chances that it's not really worth for the damage they take. Firing, what was the...
Too, so.
Yeah, but they can't regen models, which is more of a vulnerability for them. I believe this is old Bordelot's ability, doing some pretty good damage against those black spot. Ted trying to get a bit more of a surround here on all those units. They'll men at arms will trade very well against zombies. Pigman is here. He was here for like a minute.
Shut up.
Any comments
also, I
to
can't
make?
read the chat because also your stream quality is horrible.
Is it? Oh dear. I don't know if you just want to watch.
It's watchable. It's watchable.
It's probably because I'm. Wait, is it this Twitch stream quality or is this Discord stream?
Stream?
Yeah, Discord stream. Yeah, it's probably because I'm streaming on Twitch, so I can't handle it.
Yeah.
I'll try closing some bits and pieces.
I don't know what to mitigate besides sacrifice Illyrian Reavers to disrupt mortars. Well, in Bretonnia's case, you could just shoot them with archers. That's the main counter.
What did he say?
I don't know.
Oh, well.
It was.
Firing mortars into Grail Guardians, that's not going to do a ton of damage, even with like direct hits, which they're not hitting at all. You'd be better off just firing into peasants and the likes.
I said to close World of Warcraft.
I don't have World of Warcraft open.
Extra
For
down.
once, he does not.
Cav going up here to clean up all the missile units. Gun line firing into Grail Knights, that's a perfect target for them. Ideally, Hounds just causing trouble in the back line. A summon
also,
going
like,
up here.
Perfect angle to shoot. Like from this angle, the cannons are gonna hit like almost all of the. I know it's mortars.
Yeah, it's two mortars which are firing the Grail Knights.
I thought
Grail Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Merrick trying to fight the Lord and doing a lot of damage.
Doing a lot of damage to the old Fleet Admiral here.
Yeah, if he was able to get that Fleet Admiral, he might have a good chance of.
Yeah, you can see why mortars just aren't very a good targeting against Cav. Even though the direct hits there didn't do too much damage. Be better off targeting those clumped up spearmen at arms and the likes. That was quite the gaze in the gash right there.
Gaze of Nagash, terrible spell.
Terrible, yeah. I used to think it was good, but it's just too expensive compared to like you could spend that mana on healing.
The only thing that I've ever seen is that you have to have it like hit 3 different units at once, and they have to be good quality units for it to be worth the magic.
Basically, like you saw in Zerg's last video, when Falcon lined up the Ember Spears, basically to hit 2 units of the Wolf Warriors. That's how you need to aim like such kind of spells. Except for the Gates of Morg, that little goblin, little war spell from the goblin.
Yeah.
That's really good against like
dragons, the cheap ones you just want to like fire tend to be. The more expensive ones are things you want to sort of get like piercing through. Another one that was a very tasty one, killing a lot of zombies there. Although it was mostly zombies, so not that much value.
Yeah, and I think summoned units too.
Yeah, oh yeah, one of them would have been a summoned.
Alberic is getting beaten up real bad.
Albert getting beaten up by the crabs.
I wonder where the sorcerer is.
I think Lifecaster is gone for Ted.
Hound's got to work.
Yeah, so this is a much better target.
There's expensive Cav, and you don't bring Lewin, you should go for a Lifecaster just to heal like Grey Knights, Grey Guardians.
He did have a caster, but he got attacked by Hounds.
Yeah, he left Hounds in the background.
He left
that
it behind.
has to be like the 10th time somebody has done that to Ted.
Yeah. Then Ted's brought Grail Knights against these two facts, which, you know, maybe against Empire. Well, no, even then I'd bring Questing Knights. Yeah. I mean, it's Ted. Thank you for showing us the units, Ted. Your sacrifice will not be forgotten.
It will not be forgotten.
Because at this point it is looking very favoured to the Vampire Coast. All Bretonnia has left are these units, but he has no healing for them, so they're not going to be recovering at all. And although they are big old Grail Knights and Grail Guardians, it's effectively over because of all the firepower still left and anti-large armor piercing. I'll just speed this up a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Because I think the main thing holding them together still is the cavalry and his lord, and then his ally still being alive.
Yeah, that's basically the only thing keeping him from army losses at this point. Oh, but now that Albrecht is getting surrounded, well, not quite surrounded, he's got his Grail Knights backing him up there, but I don't like his chances with all those Depth Guard polearms there.
Depth Guard polearms, yeah.
He's just taking massive damage.
Oh, the men-at-arms will save them. My lord.
So Death Guard
Yeah, he's
Polearm,
gone.
since the last patch, really good unit.
Yeah,
Especially
we can
good against
actually
Bretonnia.
regenerate now.
And also they got a stat increase.
That too. I remember when they were actually like just awful. Like
These could be quite a problem for old Bretonnia. They don't have
better off.
many ways of dealing with them. You could go just mass archers. They do have 90 armor, which is pretty high, but if you just spam enough archers, you should be able to shred them down.
yeah. The
That is
other thing is
basically
if you
strat.
can cycle charge with questing knights
Yeah.
or armor piercing.
If you can manage to get some good cycle charges in with Crested Knights, that would also do it. Which is why you always want another reason to bring Crested Knights in the coast matchup. To deal with
like some
these and
questing
crabs.
Knights with Knights of the Realm. You could throw the Knights of the Realm in as sacrifice while you
Hmm.
cycle charge the
Crested
Death Guard.
Knights. But this is pretty much over at this side, so we'll quit the replay and then we
Yep.
can look at the other side.
Yes.
Oh, where's it gone? What was it called? Brett versus Empire.
It was capitals, yeah, Brett
Yeah,
versus
all
Empire.
caps. So is it loads? There's... Oh, it's gone.
Oh god, I
Oh,
hate when
Jesus,
that
so
happens.
many.
It's like, let's
There's-
snap it back up.
Can you do it by save date?
Got it. I've done it. Watch replay. Snap back to reality.
Knees weak, arms heavy. Mom spaghetti.
Mom, spaghetti. Sketty.
Did you go over the Paladin as like cheap lord? Because most Bretonnian armies nowadays have just the basic Paladin.
Yeah, basic
Well-
paladin. I never. I mentioned it more as a leadership tool, and you can bring it just pretty much
Yeah.
every match, more or less. But didn't.
He's like
think
really
it was
cheap.
really- Yeah, he's
Basically on
really
foot,
cheap.
it's like 500 gold for basically a okay hitting character.
Yeah, you can get a paladin on the ground for really cheap.
Yeah.
Then because he's
It's like,
really
I
hard
think
hitting
it's
as
like
well.
only 500, 400 gold. It's
Yeah,
very-
550 or something if he just brings basic, like not even like most basically
Just
cut
bring
out
the
everything.
leadership jet
And he usually takes brings back his value.
Yeah, you should do.
very easily.
Against
very
most.
easily.
As long as he has the targets right. But even against just in the front line, he'll do a fair amount of damage with his armor and the likes.
Yep.
I mean, in this matchup, I think against the crabs he would probably do decent. but,
Perform well, yeah.
He's not mainly not armor piercing, so it would need some time.
He still has some armor piercing damage, but yeah. As you can see against the first thing Quinn did was just start shooting my handgunners with his trebuchet because those were the biggest threat.
Yeah, those are the most valuable target. Oh, and also some Wrens going into the Sigma Suns, a pretty good volley there.
Oh wow, that was a very lucky ball.
Yeah, it's 2 into the Gunners and then 1 into the Sigma Suns.
Yeah.
Big. So you can
you'll
see how you
me do-
just shift all the skirmish cav over to this side to deal with this stuff here.
Yeah. You'll see me do a big oopsie when I run a single unit of Outriders in a suicide charge.
That's some tasty hits on those handgunners.
Yup. The other thing is in this case, the trebuchet is forcing me into combat.
Yeah,
rather
forcing you
than-
forward, which is not normally the case for Empire, but here it is this time.
Yep. As you can see, he's already wiped out half of one of my handgunners.
And more of those units go back into the Sigma Suns, even though he's not even aiming for them.
Yeah.
Ted trying to play some distance with the skirmish cav. In this situation, you really want to be counter-firing with your archers, because that's the main way to counter skirmishes with
And
Bretonnia, especially
Once I
poison
noticed
arrows.
He wasn't turning his units. I was just running the pistoliers around, just shooting at whatever I
Yeah,
wanted.
especially since these are unshielded and lightly armored, so they'll make great targets for the
Yeah.
pistoliers.
And getting some easy shots into it, lining up the Outriders behind them to shoot at the knights if they come forward. Oh yeah, I started shooting at Harold with the handgunners. 'cause I
Oh
was
yeah,
like, oh,
old Henry's getting
I
shot.
wish-
He's in range, not getting moved. Quite bad there. There's going to do some heavy damage to him.
And also I realized he only had peasant bowmen, meaning I could use my general of the empire to kind of...
Round them off. Don't, I mean, too much of a threat.
Yeah, peasant bowmen have I think one of the least AP values from all missile units,
what
but
happens-
just the volume of fire and pretty cheap missiles.
Can pretty
That's why you
counteract
bring
that.
like usually don't 2, you just go for like 4 or 6.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
I don't know
just
if you're
ran
allowed 6 by mana rule, but like
Many as you
to
can
get
carry,
started in
basically.
to do this. And
So yeah, it's skirmish getting caught here. Got a duel going
yeah,
on
I
here.
forgot
General of the
to
Empire
run
trying to go
skirmish
for
on
the
Outrider.
caster.
Oh yeah, and I mass charged the center with my knights because I realized he had no frontline spears, so I just ran my Empire Knights through the center and then ran them back.
Of course, those Bennett Bolarms getting in line there. Oh, that could have been a good hit. But quite off. Here, Henry can get the healing. General of the Empire hasn't got the healing available to him, so it's going to, in terms of a war of attrition, the Bretonnians will win there. Get some good rear charges on the flagellants, and the questing knights. Although they are getting shot in the back with handgunners as well.
Yeah,
so a bit of a trade-off.
Because the General of the Empire also has a 22% damage resist, I just started turning all my handgunners and just started shooting at Harold while running him away.
Yeah, old Harold. Oh, some good hits though getting lined up there as well for the Trebuchet by doing that. Also Rapon's getting into melee. She'd probably be better off stuck in like over here more, where she's buffing more units, because right now all she's buffing is those men-at-arms and, you know, the Grail League.
Yeah, you'll see on the right where my Outriders are just kind of on the outside just shooting into the Knights as well as the handgunners.
Yeah, as you'll find often that Pistoliers and Outriders can't really get caught by the Bretonnian Cav. You can keep a good skirmish on them normally. The General of the Empire getting rid off. Whereas the Henry Lamassif comes back in to tear out off some stuff. Of course, these Sigmar Suns won't be breaking anytime soon, so he's going to spend a lot of time trying to get rid of those.
And the Flangels on the left side there, just killing 2 units of men-at-arms. Some more units still firing at those handgunners. There's probably like more healthy handgunners you'd probably be firing at. Once a unit gets that far out of range and that low on health, you tend to want to stop firing on it and start focusing on like these beefier units that are more of a threat. Also, Harold, I think, was either almost dead or he was almost
He's very
dead.
low, yeah.
Getting healed up.
Here going after the caster Raponce would be a pretty easy kill for her.
And there's the archers going at it.
Quite a massive Empire infantry left here, can go quite easily get into these archers. So his Empire tends to be winning the infantry
fight.
fight.
On the right are getting shot to pieces by more skirmish cav.
Yeah, Empire's also been just skirmishing so much of this Knights of the Realm, because the ideal situation is where you
off the remaining knights that he had with my Empire General.
Yeah, these knights are getting run off as well. Because ideally the Pistoliers can shoot while moving, so you want them chasing the Pistoliers while your Outriders, which can't shoot in a 360, keep up fire on them. But even then, Pistoliers will do a fair amount of damage just by sheer volume of fire. Running right into the gun line here. You'll probably get a good couple of volleys just to shoot them out of the sky.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's going to happen now. The one thing that, if you're playing Bretonnia and you're up against Empire or Dwarves or any army that has handguns of some sort, flying your lords towards handguns is always terrible.
Towards any gun.
They can rip through a health bar very quickly.
Yeah, you tend to be able to dodge sort of slower missiles like archers and crossbows, but
you can't do that.
Can't really dodge guns ever, no matter how much you try.
Unfortunately,
not really exception to this rule is, but if you bring Luan Leoncoeur, you can give him with the shield of Lionheart, I think 44% missile resistance and I think 44% magic resistance. I don't know how that ends up against like magic missiles, but in general you can make him like more resilient to
missiles.
Range fire.
Yeah, if you're expecting a larger archer core like against Wood Elves or High Elves, I'd recommend Leoncoeur on a Pegasus, because he's a small target first of all, and then even if they do manage to hit, you can just pop the shield and he'd really reduce the damage he takes from missiles.
Especially against like Wood Elves, for example, because Wood Elves usually sometimes try to trap your lord with the net of, how's it called? Net of
the oh yeah, the net with the Glade Lord.
Female Glade Lord, the net ability basically.
The Glady.
Yeah, Glady.
For the Glady.
I mean, if somebody picks Wood Elf,
here we see these Trebuchet crew appear to have run off when to make them more safe. I think about this time they could probably get back on. Most of the threats have been cleared out, apart from these spearmen actually. Maybe it would be a better idea to keep them at bay.
I had Outriders on the right trying to run down, like Pistoliers with that.
Oh yeah. Now that these Pistoliers are out of ammo, they basically can function as like worse hounds, more or less. And just clear up ranged units and artillery and the likes.
That's why I send them straight to the archers, because they have no melee.
Yeah, there's no real protection left really. All that's really left is old
I spent the rest of my ammunition shooting a woman.
Oh, woman. Raponce.
Which woman? There are like a couple of women probably in the group.
Wow, this one.
Sitting there fighting all the spearmen.
Getting crooked by some spears and some Empire Knights.
And Yeah, I bring the general over because he does actually buff melee defense.
In an area around him.
Yeah, around him, so it'll keep the spearmen alive a little longer and improve their leadership by like 4.
Which is what's keeping them fighting Reponse right now. And of course you've got Henry the Massive running back into the line of handgunner fire.
Oh no, he's coming after my general.
And running back into the line of handgunner fire at the meantime as well. These handgunners can quite easily turn around and start shooting.
That's pretty much what they'll start doing.
Two Griffins fighting in the air.
Because the general also does decent damage because he's also armor piercing. Because I think if you look at his damage right now, he should have the rim blade on.
Yes, he has 675 weapon strength. And down goes Henry the Massif.
And yeah, there he goes. He breaks though, temporarily. He comes back.
He comes back. And he still has, well, he can't heal because there's no law of life on this side, but he'll probably rally at some point.
He does rally.
The Bretonnian army is basically left down just to the Dams of Life and the Reponse, which is a fair duo, but there's enough handgunner ammo to go around that Reponse will get shredded. Reponse is quite vulnerable to fire because of the lack of shield and any really missile resist apart from the base 15%.
I'm using the enfeebling foe while she's fighting the spears.
Oh yeah, you got in the caster into there as well. Oh yeah, and the mithering as well will reduce armor.
I immediately regretted my decision of doing that.
But anything to keep her on sort of tied down while she's getting shot at by 2 handgunners either side of her.
You see the Psycho probably not attention at the start, but like split his units so he can't be shot down that easily.
Yeah, he's got a unit here.
One direction, the other ones can just shoot her in the back.
And at that point, yeah, it shattered. Because also the other thing that I still had was all the skirmish cap. Like I think I had 2 full units of pistoliers still that were still alive, so I could just use them to skirmish all of the archers dead, even though they had no ammo.
Just run them down.
Yeah.
So we'll take a quick look values at the Bretonnian armies. The Lioness paying for herself. Well, how much is the Lioness actually? I feel like she's paying for herself there, even if she did get shot to pieces. She has generated a fair bit of value. Of course, the caster won't generate much. Henry the Massif definitely generating his value at 2,000.
Fighting a general.
Yeah, getting most of his value from that.
Literally, all of his value is just the general because that's about the cost.
Yeah,
of the general.
with all the healing as well that he got, he probably lasted a lot longer. Men at arms paying for them, mostly paying for themselves, as they do with just how well they tend to trade. Polearm arms not really paying for themselves. They sort of lacked a lot of the good targets. They ended up just fighting infantry most of the time, as opposed to the targets they wanted to be fighting, like Empire Knights or the General.
I actually forgot he had a Grail Reliquary.
Grail Relic, probably buffing up a lot of the... Not going to get much value, but he's there more of a support tool similar to the caster. You can see just here the value of Peasant Archers. Just like they're getting twice their worth. So when you have such a large volume of them, you can tend to just outvalue the enemy because of how well they tend to perform. In these situations, both of them getting closer to 900 value at a cost of 400 each. It works out very well. Knights of the Realm getting skirmished to pieces. They didn't catch much. They got some good charges off on some of the infantry, but they just didn't. I think they got the Outriders as well, but they just didn't get their value because they just spent so long just chasing skirmish cav as opposed to killing anything. Same with the Questing Knights. Field Trebuchet did very good in this situation because it wasn't shut down for so long. Got so much time to just kill handgunners.
Generally, it's just because I didn't bring a cannon to nullify it entirely. Because if I had a cannon, I could just sit. If he didn't have a trebuchet, I could just sit and shoot Herald all the time because Griffins are really big targets, or his knights, and he'd have to run into my handguns, which is the best case scenario for me. Or shoot his archers.
Looking at Ted's army, considering it was matched up against the coast, Bordeaux, good old Albrecht, did fairly well fighting on the crab lady, and I think it was mostly just the crab. Oh man, it's a man. It's a crab man. I think he just got most of his value just hitting him over and over again.
Yep.
I think he also get his wrath. There's waves. What is it? What's that called? What's that called?
I think
Breath of
I'm just
Manan.
gonna call
Yeah,
it
Breath of Manan.
Bretonnian Sea Flang.
Yeah, it's like the trident or whatever. Yeah, Breath of the Banana, something like that. That he got a lot of value, cleaning up zombie units and killing the entirety of the black spot more or less with that. So that performed well. Paladin almost making his value, not quite. Well, actually, is that right? That is enough.
That is
550.
value.
Yeah.
It's
So
value.
again, the Paladin just making his value back. So he's always worth. If you have a hero slot left over, outside of whatever the rest you're doing with your army, it's always worth throwing one in.
Always worth it to bring a paladin if you've got the space for it.
Men at Arms not doing as well. They're mostly fighting zombies. The Holy Wardens as well. Again, just mostly fighting zombies. So not really getting much of the cost done there. Grail Knights not getting the value they should do. They did get a lot of value, but nowhere near their cost. So they just didn't have the right targets in this situation. Being Grail Knights, they don't have the right targets against Coast really to make up their value. Like they cleaned up the Hounds fine, and they did some fair damage against the Rotten Prometheans, but there's not much they can really fight to get the maximum out of their abilities.
Technically, the spearmen, if they were traded out from archers, it might have been a bit better for them.
Yeah, if you had brought these spearmen, well, if he had been mindful of the Hounds, yeah, it definitely would have. Because if he had kept these in the back line instead of trying to flank around with them, just made sure those archers could just keep shooting without anything stopping them, would have been a lot better. Because obviously these archers just got destroyed by the time they reached the front line thanks to the double mortar, which is why you'll see it so often.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they didn't even reach the front line; they just died and ran.
They didn't have a fucking chance. I can't remember. I think my general actually did get like 3,000 value because Herald Kick healed.
Yeah, because of the heals. You probably let's have a quick look. Oh, only 1,000. I think it was the handgunners that got a lot of the value shooting.
Yeah. And then he threw himself into the unit of archers.
Okay, so that's pretty good. Pretty good replay. Is there another one that you recommend?
I know there was me versus when I was like they brought a front line of like peasants with lots of heavy cav. I'm trying to remember where it is. But I guess we should. Are we gonna just show just the Bretonnia ones first, or?
Yeah, there doesn't appear to be. The Team Kings versus High Elf one here.
Yeah, there's the.
We probably want to look at a High Elf one, and then we can do one of these High Elf and Bretonnia ones afterwards.
There's one between me and Doc, I think.
Which one was that?
M versus HE.
M versus HE.
All caps.
Don't know if I've downloaded that one. Was this a recent one?
It was one of the recent ones.
Yeah, probably. I think that was just that one. I just didn't download. Let me see if I can get that one.
It was him playing High Elves. I was playing Empire, and it was an odd replay.
Brett versus. Where is it?
It should be just up a bit. M versus HE. It's like the third. It was on the third.
The third.
Like it's not very far up.
Oh right, yeah. Mike posted it. Not you. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
And then, good old Mike. Throw this in the right place.
You might see a few similarities with my build again.
Yeah. Well, you can get that with Bretonnian army sometimes.
I mean, Bretonnia doesn't have the most tools, so.
No, yeah, so you tend to see the repeat of certain tools.
Well, no. I was playing Empire, Doc was playing High Elves. That's what that build is. The other one I put was Red versus Imp, which is just above the one Tox just put up. That's the one where it's, I guess, the use of Peasant Bowman.
How's the stream looking? I think I just got disconnected from OBS.
It is closed. It says live, but
I might need a refresh of the stream.
Oh, Twitch is
there we go.
Twitch is live.
It's working again.
Yeah, I think I just had a disconnection from OBS. Replays. M versus HE. Here we go.
Yes.
I'm just gonna get water real quick while it loads in. If you wanna have a no, I'll just go back a minute.
Yeah. This one I did not have the time to sit and play the whole match, so I was very, what you might call, pushy.
Committing and they're not even playing. I think I've saw this army from Mad Dog before.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty similar to what he brought against Willow in the tournament.
So I guess.
Ooh.
By the way, if you have questions, guys, our be checking Twitch.
Well, I'm looking at Twitch
minute or
chat,
so.
so
Yes,
Okay,
I
you're
might,
there.
my two questions.
Probably on my laptop, so
because all Grim has said is like us.
Like us. Pigmen. Alright, so we'll go here. Empire versus High Elves, say?
Yeah, my army is effectively the same.
Yeah, let's run through your army first, Psycho, if you want to do that
Yeah.
while I drink.
It's the same dealio as before, same setup. The idea is the outriders can out-skirmish whatever, and also outrange most of the skirmish, so they can just shoot them to pieces. The only major difference is the sorcerer, the caster, has pendulum instead of a couple of other spells.
Pendulum
so
being very
that
good against
becomes-
elves. Yeah.
Yeah, very good against elves. Oh man, there's a lot of lag.
This is on Discord stream or Twitch stream.
Twitch.
Mm.
It was lagging for me. I think that might be a me problem though.
Is anybody else
Someone
recording
said
there?
the stream was getting apeshit.
Oh, yeah, somebody said that, yeah. Let me try stop streaming and starting again, real quick. Trying again.
But yeah, the main purpose of the build is the spearmen are spaced out, so the actual handgunners can shoot in between them, meaning that charging straight forward isn't a good idea. And even if you did, the handgunners can always retreat behind the flagellants, the unbreakable infantry units that they're hiding behind.
Hmm.
Empire Knights can hold off any, like, cavalry units that try and get into them by using their mass to hold them still. Then the handgunners can shoot them. Any flying units, there's so many handgunners that you could attack one and the others can shoot at them.
Because the house based out there as well, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
And Empire Knights and Reichsguard being really high armor is pretty good against the old High Elf Cav, which doesn't have any armor piercing.
And the Empire General on the Griffin, which makes them terror and have terror and fear, along with a lot of armor piercing, and the Rune Sword, which allows them to actually be really scary against certain units.
Yeah, so that's the Empire army. Having a look at this hero High Elf army as the Lord, got Archmage of Fire with Searing Doom, I believe that's called.
Hawk says it's better, but still lagging.
Piercing Bolt of Burning and Fireball. Better but still lagging. Wonder what's causing that.
believe me, you don't want to watch the Discord stream. That's even worse.
Is that maybe I'll just stop doing that actually. That might just be for the best.
Well,
That was the wrong button.
We don't need the Discord stream.
Yeah, no, it's a bit delayed though, isn't it? Normally.
It
delayed.
is.
Yeah,
But
which doesn't help all the time. Yeah. Okay, so Archmage of Fire with interesting choice, bringing Archmage of Fire against the Searing
yeah, it
Bolts.
fixed it immediately when you
Go did
stopped
it?
the Discord.
Okay, yeah, okay, that must have been doing it. Yeah, so with the Fire Mage, the Piercing Bolt of Burning being really good at clearing out artillery. In this case, there's not any, so pretty sad for him.
I pull a big brain and decide to bring no artillery with Empire.
Fireball just being good at popping at Lords and Heroes, but Law of Fire is an interesting choice against the old Empire, especially things equal bolt throwers will normally be good enough to trade with Empire artillery. Bolt throwers trade better, more efficiently against cannons and mortars and anything basically, so they're a pretty good anti-artillery tool to bring. Got some
a kind of a hard counter, or not hard counter, but counter against most elven factions, or general most archers, which is why probably he expected to have like the cycle to have a couple of.
Yeah, especially when you've got like Sisters of Avalon back there.
But
just
after
take the
the
unit.
match, me and Doc agreed that my army was, for all intents and purposes, far better than his army.
I'm seeing that.
In the fact that that I could just outshoot him in every scenario.
Yeah, it does seem with all the skirmish and guns that you have on this side. Mike bringing in his own, the HE, bringing his own skirmish cavalier and reaver archers. Can trade pretty well. Of course, there's 4 of them here and 2 of them here, so they probably won't succeed in the anti-skirmish fight, but they'll trade fairly well against other Empire
If I
Knights.
remember,
Empire
the
skirmish.
Illyrian Reapers have the same range as Outriders, so Outriders can actually shoot and reliably shoot back at them.
Really? Didn't Illyrian Reapers have like 140? They should be.
One though. It's only 10
yeah,
difference.
Yeah. By like it's.
But being able to micro out of 10 range difference would be pretty advanced
Okay,
move.
it's only 10. I thought the Outriders had like 90 or.
Yeah, I didn't realise they were actually
No,
quite similar range as
they're
well.
actually quite long range. So.
Old snipers on a horseback. Being higher up gives you more of a range, more of an oversight.
Yes, it does.
Front line here
Not
being
using pistols.
Spearman. Spearman front line basically just to make sure you have the rangers here basically as the to counter the infantry. It feels like this is just a lot of Spearmen to prevent Cav from just charging straight inwards. into the Rangers, more or less, because you can't just bring it just a Ranger front line against Empire because of the cav that would just charge into your Rangers and dominate them so
as
well.
we saw in the last match.
Yeah, they do so much damage on the
to-
charge that it's like you need something else besides just Rangers. What would you guys recommend as a front line against Empire? I can't. I guess.
Usually spearmen do just fine because
Yeah.
they actually have silver shields and are fairly cost efficient enough and trade okay against other Empire units.
Yeah, they'll trade
because-
they'll definitely win against Empire spears. I'm not sure about swordsmen. I think swordsmen
Yeah,
might outperform them slightly.
Swordsmen might win, but they take too long to kill. So
Yeah.
unless the Empire is like winning the cavalry game, which in the case Empire would want to bring lots of skirmishers, which the response to that is bring more archers. You'll see that the also has 2 Sisters of Avalorn.
Yeah, 2 Sisters of Avalon in the
That's
back line here.
That's his ranged core.
That's the range core. One looking a bit tight
I
here.
don't
A
think
mortar would be
you need
really good
anything
here.
else for the front line. Like Silver and Guard are just like they're gonna get wrecked by
Mortars.
great swords anyway,
Like-
and are just not needed to get anything of the other infantry.
Hmm.
I'm not quite sure if I agree with the 2 Sisters of Babylon here because there's not you need to kill the cavalry, yes, but like besides demigryphs, you can just like try to swarm the Empire cavalry or debuff them with Plague of Rust or something. I think he has a metal caster, right?
Light caster.
Like
Like-
caster.
And a
Okay,
fire.
that was
His
very
plan was, I believe, to net my
Yeah.
units and then shoot them, but the problem was there was nothing valuable to shoot at with the Sister of Avalorn.
Yeah, I feel like looking at this, he was very much expecting Demigryph Knights. He's got the net to tie them down, and then he can just shred them with the Sisters of Avalon, which is a fair deal because besides Sisters of Avalon, there's not much else you can use to kill Demigryph Knights, which is why I think High Elves do have the disadvantage in this matchup, just because Empire have so many different things they can bring compared to the High Elves that it does not
You could go
much
for
they
a
can
dragon
do.
and cheat.
Yeah, you could do it for a dragon, but then you run the risk of, you know, the handgunner spam or the skirmisher winning or a cannon. Because you tend to try, oddly enough, the Empire can actually outrange you so most of the time if they just spam archers or spam crossbows or spam just any ranged unit. As else, you also got some dragon princes hiding in the back here, really stacking them on top of each other. Imagine a tasty pit of shade on that, that'd be really good. I believe they're there to be hidden in case of artillery or just to sort of be in the back line here because it makes these Sisters of Avalon look a very tempting target when there's no protection back here. Because obviously it's been hidden there.
I mean, Psycho would have probably guessed there's something hidden because that's like
Yeah.
2,000 gold. That's
Look
a
a
fourth
bit
of
too suspicious now.
That's a fourth of the army, and also this is the only place you can hide units. So like if
But you must you might think there may be silver helms there, but dragon princes are always up in the air. If what could be hiding in the forest there? Could be Phoenix Guard. Could be anything. That is it for the armies. We press play.
Yep.
We'll watch the
Yes, we
merge.
Watch everything go downhill from here.
I think it's mainly the High Elves going downhill from this angle. Literally and metaphorically.
Yeah, I'd start moving my
Some skirmish fire going into those shields here. Not a great usage of their ammo. They're also going to get some counter fire from the handgunners.
yeah.
Here comes the first fireball, I believe going for the mage, trying to kill that magic source as quickly as possible. It's all he really has to fire the fireballs at, to be honest, so it's a fair shout. Oh, Archeranger fire, just the perfect target here, 30 armor.
I think I try and run him out of the way to dodge the
Yeah.
shot, but
You didn't
wasn't
quite do
fast
it.
enough.
Yeah, the Archeranger fire is very much in risk here.
And,
Pistoliers,
he's
all
getting
the
shoved in.
Outriders, it's just going to be very, very dangerous for her there, or him, her, I
And
think.
realized,
Yeah, trying to do some maneuvers, some serpentine maneuvers to dodge some of those rounds, but very hard to dodge gunshots. Actually firing a fireball, I believe. When you're firing a fireball at Pistoliers, there's clearly been some magic choices that are less than desirable. Obviously he's brought the piercing bolt of burning, hasn't got really any targets for those. He's brought the net. There isn't really any target for that either, apart from the general of the Empire, so the magic choice is not lining up with Psycho's armor here very well.
Yep.
Front lines merging to each other. It should majority go to the Empire. Well, actually no. The High Elves will probably win the Empire the front line fight, but the skirmish, the Sigmar Sons as well, and the general, it's gonna be a long fight, that's for sure. And with how much money the High Elves have put into their front
Generally-
line, it's not quite equal.
Generally, what I should be doing is just sitting and shooting at his units, because handgunners actually have like 26 volleys that they can fire, which is
quite a lot.
more than enough. It's enough to wipe out like even silver shielded units reliably.
At this
you
point,
see how the high elves have way less ammo, like the Iranians have used like 1/4 to 1/3 of them.
yeah, about a third of their ammo
Whereas
already.
the elves lost like not even 20%. So he could like just out skirmish the high elves as long as he wants to. He has to be aware of the Sisters of Avalon. Like if they go into the cover of the Sisters, he's gonna lose because the Sisters are just way better and they have way higher range.
Do a lot more damage as well. Yeah.
Generally, he could try to force them in a bit more.
Unfortunately, I did not have the time to play this, so I might
Pendulum
have
through
rushed.
Oh, I was trying
Also-
to use a pendulum on the moving units there. A bold strategy, didn't quite pay off. Always try and wait for those units to start moving for that pendulum plays or the likes of that. Another fireball missing.
Yeah.
Oh dear, that's a lot of fireballs.
I think the thing was he right-clicked on a unit and realized it was running in front of his spearman and ran it away without realizing.
Oh,
it.
I thought it might have actually been moving forward intentionally to try and get some volleys off
No.
because he outranges the handgunners maybe. Does he outrange the handgunners actually?
Handgunners
I think
are
that's
180.
125.
Yeah,
Handgunners have 140.
yeah, 145. 35 difference, so
But also that is use
Enough
of his
to get a
valuable
volley in.
ammunition on
Yeah.
a unit that isn't that
Valuable.
expensive.
there isn't a much expensive targets really at all, really, which is the sad thing for the Sisters of Avalon.
The only thing he wants to shoot is the knights, which I'm
Yeah,
keeping
or the
back,
General
and
Empire,
handgunners
which you're
mostly.
keeping quite safely back.
Yep.
It's a more skirmish play going on here between the Illyrian Reavers and the Outriders and Pistoliers. Will most likely go to
Even though that
the
I've
Empire.
done so much damage to his units, I still have most of my ammunition.
oh yeah, some Sisters of Avalon volleys coming into handgunners here. Doing a fair bit of damage, but for how much ammo they're going to end up using, it's not as efficient as it
They've
could
already
be.
used a good chunk of their ammunition.
Oh, a good pendulum just wiping out half the unit there. A reason why you bring breath attacks overall just against high elves because of just a shit. It's pendulum efficiently because it's good against almost every high elf unit. The tight formations means it does so much damage.
Generally, the best case scenario for me is to pretty much sit back and pendulum all the sisters until there's too few units, and then I can just shoot at will.
Yeah, here's some netting going down here to keep those skirmish.
Mismanagement at the end. With the back, I think Outriders or Pistoliers get caught.
Yeah, they're getting caught here by the
Yeah,
Dragon
I
Prince
sent
thanks to
them
the
into
net
melee just to tie them up so I could use my outriders for something else.
Dragon Princes will most likely win against Empire Knights and Reichsguard over here. Although here goes the General of the Empire disrupting those Sisters. Although one of the units is able to fire, but another pendulum will probably shut them down there. Yeah, that will probably knock pretty much that entire unit out of the fight there. Just the cost of the pendulum is way worth the cost of those Sisters of Avalon. And the front line fight mostly going in terms of Empire here. Ooh, a piercing bolt of doom missing.
Yeah, I actually didn't know he cast it. I just was like,
He's just
oh yeah,
moving in.
they've been in combat for too long, and then
Moved them away.
ran them away. Yeah.
General of the Empire, I think, getting netted here, so he can get shot at by the Sisters and caught up.
Well,
By some rangers.
unfortunately, the sisters are already in combat, so.
Yeah, they might be able to just get out and fire some bullets, so
decided
yeah.
I made the wrong choice of not activating his rune sword as soon as I should have.
Yeah, here he's
When
taking
I-
a lot of damage here. Could go down, possibly. See how it goes. He's getting surrounded by the Rangers, which, despite being anti-infantry, you
problem-
never really want a Lord to get surrounded by
Also, if you
anything.
look at the handgunners a little further down, I was getting the handgunners, clicking for them to shoot at the Sisters of Avalon, but they wouldn't respond. They
Yeah, there are a lot of
legitimately were
rogues on
ignoring
that.
actions.
Some of the handgunners getting caught here by Illyrian Reavers. And then trying to go after Caster here, probably will
Yeah,
win
going
because
after
thanks to the Eagle
Caster.
Mount. General of the Empire getting shot up quite a bit by the Sisters. Handgunners firing into the Rangers, there's not quite enough there to really keep up the fire. Dragon Princes over here will beat Reichsguard quite nicely.
Yeah.
Not looking too great for the Empire at this point, with the General getting shredded by the Sisters and Caster getting killed by the Eagle.
Yep.
Yeah, right move here, trying to pull back these handgunners to try and get so the Spearmen can tie up the Rangers and they can shoot into the back. This unit of handgunners is pretty vulnerable to these Rangers, but he hasn't quite noticed yet.
The unit of Pistoliers on the right just shooting the Illyrian Reavers.
Oh yeah, there's this last bit of skirmish left. general of the Empire as well, also giving chase to the archers. You won't be able to catch him, I believe. They believe the eagle is significantly faster.
It's faster, but also it's still. If he catches them, he wins the fight.
Yeah, and killing the general would be a great turn of the tides at this point.
Well, dwarves are very short, though, so even a slight inclination will cause them to miss. There's a reason that the Thunders are in boxes, so they can shoot over other dwarves.
Some more Sisters of Avalon fire coming here onto the general. Although, do some good dodging. You can see here how a flying mount is able to dodge arrows a lot more efficiently than bullets. Because their long arc of fire, you can see them coming from a lot longer away. So if you just keep him moving in different directions, you can quite often dodge a lot of arrows. Especially when you're up against Sisters of Avalon, you can waste a lot of their ammo that way.
Especially if you've got like a throwaway like flying unit. Like if you're playing Chaos with the Feral Manticore, you could do that. Because they also have a 15% scaly resistance.
Of course, the risk is there that if they have going to rampage, it's pretty much going to die.
Yeah, if they have or a net or something.
Yeah.
Like a light caster. Yeah, this is pretty much where the battle was effectively over.
Yeah, it's pretty determined to be.
Both Doc and I knew that my army should have won, but I did pushed forward instead of sitting and skirmishing them out because I had to literally leave a minute after the match was over.
Yeah, so a bit rushed, but you can see some unit examples and matchups.
Already rage quitting.
That's true. Yeah, quality rage quit.
Fuming left already.
Oh. But yeah, because if I kept the General Empire back and the Knights, I could sit and shoot him and out-skirmish him, and if they try and chase after my Outriders, well, I can throw my Knights at them. And the General finally catches the Eagle. And routes him.
Yeah, right, managing to rout him, or they just come back here at the end. Though another hit will probably send them back to routing just straight out, after. Oh, and kills her as well. So the High Elf General there dying, but even with the two stars, a very healthy unit of Dragon Princes left, which would just be enough to finish off the rest of the Empire army. So
there's not much unless like the handgunners get very lucky somehow and fire off like 3 volleys before they reach.
With all the Rangers as well, and the other half of the Dragon Princes, there's no chance here really for Empire left.
Yeah.
Some volleys going to the Dragon Princes, trying to hold them down with the Pistoliers so that you can get some more volleys in, but it is fairly determined to be a victory for the High Elves.
In this scenario, if I just sat and skirmished the entire time, just picking away at his units, or even just sitting and shooting at anything that came forward, like just shooting up his spearmen, shooting up the Dragon Princes, because again, I can circumvent his spearmen, sit, shoot his Dragon Princes, and then run away when his spears try and cover, and move the Empire Knights with them. Because he can't fly his general forward on the Eagle to attack my handgunners, because my general can kill him, as we saw, very, very easily. So he can pretty much protect the back line by himself, even against the Dragon Princes. He's actually a very dangerous threat for the Dragon Princes with his splash damage, which is armor piercing as well. So,
looking at the values here of the High Elf leader, the amount of fireballs that she fired off, not really the damage value, especially when you consider that she was doing a lot of damage to the enemy caster. You can just see that for those pendulums, the 1,200 value compared to the 800 of the fireballs and the Eagle combined, the fireballs just did not have a good target in this situation. Rarely will they against Empire. Of course, that caster not doing much. Spearman front line not trading very well against the Empire front line. The Rangers managed to do a bit better, especially with the health they had left, but not much left after the Spearman attrition war was over. Sisters of Avalon doing fairly well. This one definitely paying for itself there. This one not quite. Oh, is it? It was 1,300 for Sisters of Avalon, isn't it?
No, 1,400.
400. Okay, so yeah, this one both of them paying for themselves, despite not having the targets for it. They just managed to stay alive and keep firing for so long.
The general.
Yeah, the general as well.
On melee, so.
Yeah, managing to get a lot of fire off into the general. Dragon Princes.
Yeah, but honestly, if I would have been more patient, then they would have probably not gotten the value.
Pretty much, it was.
I mean, they're glass cannon. You saw how much they get nuked by the pendulums. They still managed to get their value. So this is how good they are, but how difficult to take.
There's such a
It
target.
was a scenario that if I sat back and played it out as I should, would have easily won the match because my handgun and Outriders outright really cause the Dragon Princes a lot of trouble because he can't move his Dragon Princes to try and hit my units or get pinned and shot, and he can't really move his Sisters of Avalon forward because of the pendulum. And if he sits back, I still am going to keep pendulating him. And if I want him to have to micro something, I'll send my Outriders to go shoot a unit. While he micros, I throw a pendulum. It's a kind of a nightmarish situation because against the build he brought, there's nothing useful to throw against except like the wizard.
Yeah, but the wizard pretty much. That's more or less what there was.
Only 1120.
Yeah, Illyrian Reaver and Archers doing quite well for their cost. They just had to be able to whittle off a lot of the skirmish cav that has a low armor, so they had pretty good targets in those situations. But often they won't have that against Empire. They tend to have a bit more armor and a bit more shields in most situations, or at least out missile to the point where Illyrian Reavers won't be able to trade as well as this did here.
Like even bringing like 4 Illyrians really does problems for the Illyrian Reavers because they could just get run down and shot at.
Probably good to look at a HE Brett game. Oh, there was that one. Wait, which one is this one? I'm playing in it. Oh no, it's this one. This one doesn't count. I lost in it.
No, we gotta watch it.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
well,
this was a good one.
We're only watching the border. You're only watching the POV of the Hiles and Bretonnia
I have
there.
honestly no idea anymore why I played this. I know.
Oh, I broke banner rolls. No, did I? Did I break banner rolls?
When did we play this? I seriously don't remember it.
I think it was like a one-off game that you would like hear for like 30 minutes and we played it and that was it. It was like a week ago.
I don't remember it.
Maybe a week and a half.
Question here from Talk. Last week you said Shadow Warriors are better than Illyrian Archers. Would you recommend them versus Empire 2?
I can see that.
I could actually say, yeah, because remember, a lot of the problem with dealing with Empire is the fact that if they bring a shitload of Outriders, you're fucked if you bring Skirmish Cav, because the Outriders actually have the range to actually shoot back at them, so you can't just shoot from far away and then run away.
Yeah,
the Outriders will just shoot you once you come into range.
Shadow Warriors will perform a lot better than Illyrian Reaver as well against that Skirmish Cav, and they'll actually probably win in melee.
Against like
Also
that
stop.
many cheap cav that Empire can bring, like just basic Empire Knights. I'm not quite sure if Shadow Warriors are the answer.
Oh yeah, with the basic Cav they can bring, probably not the highlight idea. But
Like Illyrian Reavers can run away at least. Like this is why you like pick ranged cav.
It's like a scenario that if you
Anyway,
have
yeah.
like 2 units of Shadow Warriors shooting at the like whatever range units the core of the Empire has, like handgunners or crossbows, and they can't see them, which is kind of an advantage for you. You don't have to worry about the Empire Knights at that point.
Okay.
Like 1 or 2 units can do that.
You want to go over the armies, Willow, first?
this wasn't a very good battle. Why are we doing this?
Willow is just sad because you lost.
I didn't lose. I just chose not to
Lose
win.
the debug camera.
Yeah, how could I
Really
lose
hard,
a
really hard
D?
against necrotic.
I didn't. You were here. You helped as well. You flew over with your
So
eagles.
Willow wanted to bully your people. This is
I
why
didn't-
you went for a full Vanguard build.
I didn't
And
have
you also
full
wanted to snipe lords. This is why you went for the
sisters, triple
Hawk
eagles.
Riders and the Hawk Riders and the sisters. This bring the sisters. Oh, you such.
No, sorry, we're not doing Chaos Wood Elf. That's next week, so we can't do. No, it's not next week. We'll have to look at
No,
these
it's
builds
next
instead.
I looked at the votes. Pretty much nobody voted for Chaos. So
Damn, let's be
actually,
sad
yeah,
for
we're gonna
Chaos.
talk in your book. Okay, so
0.
basically, yeah. What are we having?
Go through your build.
The Chaos versus Wood Elves are just like Willow wanted to
Yeah, shut up about
Vanguards,
this.
and
This
Chaos
doesn't happen.
for some reason brought a Hell Cannon. I'm not quite sure why. I saw the Hell Cannon, so I figured I would bring like 2 Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers as well, just so I have some artillery and I can like cover for my ally since he's staying back. I needed to stay back as well. Didn't quite work out with the formation since like basically the Bretonnians are in front of the Chaos and the Wood Elves are on flank of the Chaos. I just threw together, I had like not a lot of time, so I just threw together some basic army, just some spearmen, some Silvern Guard, because I figured they would hold against like most of the Bretonnian shit, and against the knights as well, because of the heavy armor. I think I have the Dragonborn and Alariel, because I couldn't figure out how to bring like a decent lord. So just Fireborn, anti-large, not really armor piercing, but hit a hard.
Hit a lot harder.
Threw in some cheaper cav. I think 2 Illyrian Reavers are hidden somewhere, and I think a Silver Helm unit is running around. Just to get some cav.
Oh, yeah,
And
there's a bit there.
I think I had money for an eagle, and I like recently heard that eagles are actually not that trashy anymore. They're just like basically a very cheap flying additional pressure piece.
Similar
I
to
wanna
Tentacles,
point
but no Rampage.
out, if you're gonna bring a Hell Cannon as Chaos, don't protect it with Marauders. Never protect it with Marauders. It's just expensive with that.
Yeah. You need
Never
like one.
ever do that. It hurts me to see Marauders protecting.
Don't
Hell
worry, I think
Cannon.
it's just Warriors here, not
I
Marine
think it's
Warriors.
actually Chaos Warriors, but you would like one go for a halberd.
It's a full army of Chaos Warriors.
God.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
don't know
lot
what
of chaos.
Necrotic was thinking, but
Yeah, let's just not
it
look at
worked
this
out in
half.
the end. Little spoiler, but it worked out. So.
Yeah, okay. One thing I do want to point out here is the Companions of Crenels hard counter the old Fireborn quite nicely because of their armor, their fire resistance, the fact they don't do fair damage themselves, they're anti-large, they're armor piercing. I always love seeing the Companions of Crenels get matched up against the Fireborn. I don't know if they fought each other in this battle, but
No, I don't think
no,
so.
I think you kept them. We'll find out. Yeah. What
Honestly,
happened
I think
over
it was
here?
a bad battle for me, but it was like the only battle of the.
That-
I'm not sure if it's
It is.
Yeah,
Just
not
too
much.
zoomed out for me to see if it was Marauders or not, and I was like, oh
Yeah,
no.
no, you can tell we're going to get a bit closer.
Okay, so basically what you will see, like when you go into a situation like this, you need to pull like one guy getting completely hard flanked. You need to pull back as fast as possible, and your ally needs to move over shit as soon as possible, because that Wood Elf army is gonna fuck up the Chaos, like the Chaos Vanguard, and they're like 3,000 gold short probably, and then it's gonna roll up maybe the whole flank if they are really lucky.
No, not all monsters
The
have
Eagle
terror.
does not have terror; it only has fear.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
pretty
Yeah,
like why it is
like,
considered not really good, but it's decent for its price, 800 gold, and you just have like something that can kill casters and pressure. And I know that
Pressure archers
Ted is not
are-
really the best at protecting his caster, which he will.
or
probably
his
also see in this
artillery.
battle.
Oh, actually, no, it was getting shot by their Hell Cannon,
Oh.
so he couldn't really do much.
Hey, the trebuchet didn't break. That's some solid craftsmanship, you know.
Some solid crowds
Already
just
break.
took a soul of a demon to the face and just flips him.
By the way, my Eagle Club bolt throwers now have basically like no targets in this army, since there's like I don't see any cav, and they're basically the cav artillery sniping tools, so they're kind of useless.
So they all get turned on the sisters here.
So, to answer
Yeah,
the
which you
question,
will,
yes, all,
which
all
why I'm not
monsters-
protecting them very well, I think.
all
It's-
monsters. Oh, sorry. I was going to point out because yeah, all monsters tend to have fear in most cases, but not all of them have terror.
I think actually the Eagle is the only one, like only bigger thing that does not cause terror, except for some reason I think the bell, screaming bell from the plague, the Gracias. I think that
Don't cause
does
terror.
also not cause terror for some reason.
I think it does cause terror.
Nope, I don't
Doesn't
think
it?
so.
Did they take that away?
Because they can get terror out of it.
Oh yeah, good point. They can
Yeah,
get terror.
right,
So
yeah.
they couldn't be causing terror.
Like the dumbest shit, and it's like the rat ogre's like, I'm out here, and then just starts running in the other direction, Looney Tunes style.
Anyway, we're not looking at this half of the fight. We're looking at this half of the fight. Over here, it's kind of hard to not look at half of this fight when half of the army is firing at my lord.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Giants versus Chaos Warriors. The Chaos Warriors are gonna win that.
Yeah,
fight
win that
flat
pretty
out.
nicely. But I did it anyway.
Takes a while.
I don't know why I did it. Sisters aren't going to do good here. The two eagles
Yeah.
against one.
I basically sent my, I think I sent my Eagle and Alariel in on a kind of suicide mission.
Well, suicide. I don't know. Okay,
because
it's a
I
kill.
didn't quite register he had that many Hawk Riders.
Yeah, there was a lot of awkward. They didn't actually do that much. I thought they'd do more.
Against like Chaos Warriors, you're not gonna do any damage.
No.
Yeah, but then I break off and I think I run after some archers because
Some charge here. Here, the foot squire is just not having any mass to hold because all those calves over there. These foot squires can just get charged into and cycle charge repeatedly. with
also
no
you see Ted
downside.
loses his caster again on the right.
Oh no! Don't tell me. Oh, he forgot his caster again. Ted. Ted. Ted.
Like we were in this game for like 5 minutes and then you just suddenly hear shit.
Ted.
Ted, no.
Ted. Here we see a beautiful gap for the cav to possibly charge through, but because Ted's in control of them, I doubt we'll see it.
Yeah,
Oh, is that mounted
yeah.
yeoman as well? Yeah, that's mounted
Oh my
yeoman. Why would you bring mounted yeoman in this matchup?
Because. okay.
Who sent me the Ted replay? It was you. You did this. Just because I lost in it. Oh, actually the archers, volume of
Yeah,
fire,
you said
killing.
it
Nice
yourself, by the
him.
way. Well,
Yeah, that
I didn't say,
you,
but
you see now
Yeah,
though,
do
like
anything.
having the volume of fire that we've been talking about.
Yeah, even those. Was that silver shield? Yeah, silver shield.
Silver
It
shield,
still
yeah.
got shredded, like, with a sheer volume of fire.
Yeah. Well, they also only have 40 armor, so they can actually.
Yeah,
die
deal
very
fake easy. Cavalry are just standing here at this point, not entirely sure what they're doing.
Yeah.
Ted's caster's gone. Yeah, there goes Ted's
Actually,
caster.
right now, the yeomen, if they could be really useful by keeping that spear unit running
Yeah, keeping it
because they can
off, but
from routing
they're just going to let it come back at this point. Eagle Clawbolt throws a fire. Is this Ted come to defend himself? No, it's in camp.
Yeah, what if Ted
yeah.
would have needed to do is like just pressure my my Eagle Club bolt throwers. They didn't do a lot, so it
Throwers
wouldn't
are
be
just
mattering
shooting.
that much.
Yeah, the peasant mob get
you
to flank.
not compliment Ted for getting his caster when you usually forget to bring one
I
force.
don't. When was the last time I forgot? Oh, that was a very nice staff of Menando from Ted. Ted does the good ones of those. That's
2
about
weeks ago.
his peak. But it's saying something when the peasant mob are the ones doing the flanking, and his cav are. I don't even
They're
know.
getting fucked by the mana.
Yeah, now they've got them Fireborn are coming in to destroy them.
That's like that has to be like the most overkill.
No,
of
no.
killing.
All Ted needs is a truck of good old boys and a battlefield to win.
Actually, what you saw right there is I pulled off my crew from the
Eagle Claw
bolt throwers, and I moved them to the spearmen into safety.
to get safe so that it
This
can
is
be
what you
remanned
should
later.
always do when your artillery is threatened. Pull them off, except for if you have like undead vampire coast, because those guys are just too slow to get anywhere.
Yeah, and also they'll probably crumble if they get touched.
Really quickly.
Yes.
We can kept left.
Good.
Yeah, it wasn't the best game, but Willow lost, so...
Yeah, so we had to save the replay, guys, because look, haha, funny, look, funny sisters are gonna die. Look, funny.
Wait, who
laugh.
sent the replay? Who was actually...
I wasn't
hosting the
me.
game?
I definitely didn't. Who sent me the replay?
Psycho
Isn't it
hosting,
Psycho?
or is Willow hosting?
Willow is hosting it. So.
Willow's hosting, so Willow, you saved the replay.
I did not save the replay.
Well, he took it off the replays list, and he didn't. He probably
Yeah.
just took as many he could find.
Yeah, I just took it from the replay list. I think it was you that posted them, pretty sure, actually. Yeah, Necrotic beating Willow. It's you. This was you. You did this.
To be fair, Willow got beat by Necrotics.
Haha, look, well, you didn't, because there was 2 eagles. There was basically half of your army in cost came over to my side. Can't just say haha funny, look at man died, 3 man lost, laugh at him. It's neat.
No, that goes into my Willow loss, seriously.
I got a catalogue of
So,
Willow losses.
Here's the thing as well. The thing to note is that since the Claw Bolt thrower was able to fire, it helps support the Chaos Army whenever fighting any of the large, because the Zygots running in, the Dryads, the Treemen running in, all just got shot to pieces, because Chaos Warriors, they can take a couple of like friendly fire hits and keep fighting pretty easily.
Poor bolt thrower.
Yeah, Ted's Cav finally getting into the back line.
How we knew thee.
Only like,
Well, granted, Willow, now you can say, but now I know why I lost. It wasn't my fault. Right?
yeah, it wasn't my fault, it was my teammates' fault.
It
Ted!
was my generals. It was my generals.
Yeah,
who
my
failed me.
generals that failed me, that too. Yeah, but...
I mean, you see that Bretonnia is still running while the Warhammer are basically dead, so...
Yeah, because we fight to the end. I was waiting that Ted peasants just run.
Aranthel says,
I don't
if
think
the
it would
Widow
have
and
changed
Red
a lot
Division-
if the positions were changed.
Yeah, I
because,
could have bought... Yeah, my army was a better counter towards yours.
and Silver and God, and I don't think Willow would have like punched through the spears
Actually-
fast enough for the Chaos to run.
Dryads would have done better than
I
the
think
Chaos Warriors.
I think what he's because the thing is the Chaos Army had 0 halberds or any way of stopping cavalry. So if Ted was on that side, he could just
He could have carried the game, and
Warriors.
then Whittle would have still lost there. Yeah, I see.
Because Willow could still outshoot the Lyrian Reavers with his Hawk Riders or
Ooh.
other
By the way,
archers.
thanks for telling. Like this is like just you saw the Fireborn fight the companions of canals for a second, and they basically took out like 3/4 of the health.
Yeah, they were a hard counter against the
Not a lot
Fireball.
of damage. I was wondering why they take so much damage.
The companions of Quenelles are the Dragon Slayers, and Fireball
got
are
these
Prince of Dragons.
Lots of Chaos Infantry, and is that a Footlord that the Chaos have?
Is that a foot?
Yeah,
No,
no,
it's a Chaos Lord.
no,
It's a
no,
basic
that's-
Chaos Lord on a horse.
Okay. Oh, just a basic Chaos Lord.
Yeah, on a horse.
So I
Not
think it was a
that bad
chaos.
of a lord,
Chaos
honestly.
Lord?
No, it's just
Yeah,
basic
Just
Chaos Lord.
it's a basic
Was
Chaos
there
Lord.
no, I'm pretty sure there was a caster. Yeah, there was a caster. I remember there was 2. He's
Yeah,
dead now,
he
I think, at this point.
died.
Yeah, I think I shot him.
Yeah.
Eagle getting killed here. Good riddance to the Eagle.
Actually, Chaos Lord isn't actually that bad of a lord for Chaos.
Compared to the legendary lords, he's
Yeah.
below
In
average.
comparison,
But
it's
He's
kind
in a
of,
bad lord,
but
by any
also
means.
one of the few lords that can ride a dragon for Chaos. So
Hmm.
we learn things here.
So yeah, there's the army losses. There goes that. Maybe we can move on from this and never talk about it again.
Never talk about it again.
Yeah, Alariel doing good because it's Alariel. Yeah. Fireborn doing good because it's a Fireborn. All of this doing fairly well because it was fighting Ted. The rest of it.
Also done good against you.
No, look at these armies. Look, I had sisters to snipe everything. I had all these voids. These could have done good against something. I'm sure they could have killed your Volturo crew. You had no counter archers to shoot
them.
them.
In this game because Chaos had like 0 missiles, but they didn't do it, Willow. So.
Yeah.
What do you mean 0 missiles? They had 4 units of Horsemasters and a hull cannon.
And the Horsemasters are still alive by the end of the game, throwing javelins.
Yeah, so
like Horsemasters are not anything to be sneezed at, and that Hell Cannon somehow got pretty good value.
Also had the Silver Knights, they would have done very well against everything you had, and the Zotes as well.
Magic damage from Alariel, Willow.
You brought that, did you?
Magic damage and an AoE effect.
Yeah. So I shoot her before she gets there.
Or something.
I think this is also a scenario that Willow's army is so elite that anything that goes wrong kind of fucks it.
Yeah, it's a very small
Because the
army.
bolt claw throwers and like scatter shot might actually mess up those riders really easily if they don't get on that artillery fast enough.
Yeah, well, hopefully I would have done that in hindsight. Maybe not. I don't know. Who could say?
I don't know.
What other replays we got? We got
We're
this
just
one.
gonna have to
To
fight
look
the
at?
battle, right?
Let's have a look at this one. For the Cook sent in.
Okay.
Liong Zing.
Okay. Any
What was the other way around?
replays, Willow?
Oh, yeah, got replay here.
Yes.
You're a bit delayed, so.
Yeah, hugely delayed, I can say. But okay.
Let me try streaming it again.
Yeah.
Twitch.
This is.
You saved
a lot
that.
of nights.
Let me try streaming. How's the Twitch quality going?
It's still fine for me.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on it. I'll shut off Discord again if it.
Well,
Tips.
I got an eye on the chat, so I'm going to be watching.
Okay, stream as well.
Outrage, like in quotation marks.
Right, what we got here then?
Yes.
Peasant mob front line. Very heavy in the peasant mob department. A lot of knights. That's a lot of knights. That's
Yes,
one
yeah.
Grail Guardian, one Questing Knight, another 2 Questing Knight, 3 Questing Knight, 4 Questing Knight, another Grail Knights, 5 Questing Knights, one of which being the ROR.
The question is, are these within the banner rules?
Yeah, I
I
think.
think it
Oh,
is
5
within
Questing
banner
Knight. No, I
rules.
don't think 5 Questing Knights is allowed. I think you can have 4.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's 5 here. Yeah. If we just pretend one of these is a Knight of the Realm.
Yeah.
Prophetess of Life, interesting choice. I guess wanting the healing, just putting all the money into the cav instead of into the
Even though
Lord Department.
me and Willow lampooned the Prophetess of Life.
Yeah, we did
being
really
the
rip
shittier
into
version of the damsel.
just being really bad and like off the Fae even. Just like, why would you just not bring the Fae? Just bring the Fae instead. The Fae would have done alright decently, yeah.
Fae
Pretty much the same
Enchantress
cost
was
as well.
better.
Fae Enchantress with the Mortis Engine drain effect would have probably
Yeah, done very well against elves and Alex. So here you just
2
have
units of archers.
peasant. Basically, this is just a holding force while your cav do out all the work. Like you may as well just call this the Mongol horde because the peasants are just here to hold things in place, to pretend to be a front line. For the high elf army,
It's a bit like even less to less peasants, even for Bretonnia.
Yeah.
Because it's just
it's also a weird box of peasants as well. Some weird formation there. Shadow warriors, 2 units, I believe. Yeah, 2 units and then 2 units of the reavers.
Aronthil, I think you're talking about the scroll of like the summon stone thing, which I think we went over, and the fact that it's okay, but
Yeah, the stone scroll.
you
Yeah,
can just bring the Enchantress, and she's got a better version.
yeah. It's like
Charges.
it is a nice spell. I liked it. I liked it when it was on the Death Hag. It's not so useful when it's tied to like one of the worst lords in the game, unfortunately.
It like
who also has to compete with one of the best lots.
Yeah, compete with the Fae, who can just drop giant comets, which do more or less more damage than the old rock bombardment.
and also significantly better melee defense, because one of the important things for sorcerers is that they need melee defense to survive if they ever get caught. That's why like Skaven casters aren't actually that bad, because their melee defense tends to be okay.
Didn't even bring the scroll as well on this one. Terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Willow, before you continue to complain, there's a reason people
Oh, yeah.
send us less and less replays.
That's a
than
good point. I just tear into
We're
them.
trying to help.
I'm trying to, yeah, it's constructive criticism. Like, Jesus, they're throwing the Grim. What was this guy thinking? He didn't even bring healing.
Constructive criticism 5 minutes ago.
What is this front line? What does he do?
No, so we're only allowed to lampoon Ted.
Oh yeah, it's only Ted apparently. Yeah, okay. So this is a interesting front line with an interesting skirmish corps against Bretonnia, which can run down Shadow Warriors pretty easy. Somebody else talk about this. I don't have
yeah,
the.
Cap and
Oh, for
Willow
fuck's
is
sake,
muted
Inkit,
now.
stop muting Willow.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've done it. That's the first time I've done it.
Hey,
Oh, somebody just muted him as I am muted.
hey, when I did that, I lost power. Can somebody kill
Yeah, so
Cap?
I own the server.
You set up the server.
Damn, that's a shame. Oh well.
I just heard Willow shit talking Ted, so I was like,
This
oh,
is.
God.
What do you mean? You do it all the time. You do it every weekend.
I don't do it
Saturday.
on stream though.
Oh,
Okay,
Anyway,
let's
guys,
focus on
back.
this game.
then back to the game.
So
Get out of here,
we've
Cap.
got
If you're not here to help, leave.
Yeah, but the front line of skirmishers with Lothar and Seaguard as well. Like, this is a lot of archers, actually.
There's a lot of missile units, yeah.
Right, who's the Bretonnia players at Ted?
It's Kirkdate versus Bretonnia versus Longxiong.
Yes, something like that.
Leon Cheng.
Okay, yeah, I don't know Chinese pronunciation.
Nobody else going to say anything about this army.
Yeah, I
mean,
was going to. I just thought you were going to say it yourself.
It kind of reminds me of the Death Star builds where you have just a ton of archers.
Well, no, I was going to say something. Loth and Seaguard isn't really a good choice here.
It usually isn't.
Yes,
no.
he probably like the Dragon Princess will get shut down by Questing Knights probably hard because no low AP. Questing Knights have AP. It's I don't know what his plan was. I mean the skirmish corps with the Illusion Reavers and the Shadow Warriors. He basically has like 2 units of cavalry and then 6-7 units of skirmish, and he doesn't need that much. Like to kill Bretonnian archers, normal high elf archers will do fine. Spearmen will help the front line. Aetharion the Grim is just an. I probably went over this. You probably went over this last week. He's just an awful choice as a lord because he's way more expensive than any other high elf lord.
He's effectively a shittier Teclis.
Although he does have Tempest, so there's that.
He can guarantee a Phoenix Rebirth, but yeah, no, that's terrible.
Yes, but this is about it. Like, there's no reason. Like, I think he's even like he's 200 gold cheaper than Teclis on a reasonable like spell kit. And Teclis has the rebirth. Teclis has the insane magic regeneration. This is even with I think all his items from Teclis. So basically, Teclis will never run out of magic. Aetharion will at some point, and Teclis get the regrowth, which is a bit better healing spell. Like from a pure healing perspective, regrowth is better.
Especially
and then
if you're bringing dragons.
Yeah, and then you factor in the 100% vigor regeneration for that healing duration, and you know that regrowth is actually better than Apotheosis. It is. I calculated it. It is a little bit better from the healing amount of healing you can get.
But in this army, this guy would be better by bringing in a unit of rangers or 3 and cutting 2 Lothan.
Yeah, most likely.
What's his caster? What's he got?
Firecaster along with Altharion.
What's the caster got?
Burning Head and Fireball.
What's the
Sounds
Altharion
about
got?
right.
Tempest and Apotheosis.
Okay, so yeah, Apotheosis is pretty good there in Tempest. Burning Head can be good, depending on the reaction time of your opponent.
Pretty much, if it hits any of the Bretonnian foot units, it'll wipe them out.
Yeah, but if your opponent has good reaction time and you don't, you can run your own troops into it.
You also have to gauge whether or not like a Burning Head is worth using on Peasant Mob.
Yeah, even if used on his archers, there's enough time for him to react to acts not engaged.
Or if it's even worth the cost.
Is that 2 Alien Reaver units?
And 2 Shadow Warriors.
So what this guy probably wants to do is cut 2 of the Shadow Warriors and bring 3 Illyrian Reavers.
Go with a more
have a more
consistent mobile core.
And then bring something like
separated areas.
A good unit, a White Lion unit. Just have that as a hold.
Alright. Bye-bye, fella.
Go ahead and press the... Oh yeah, good to see you. See you later, Falafel. Give press play now.
We'll
Slow motion, actually. We'll see how this goes. I'm actually curious. There's 2 very interesting armies.
Yeah, not...
Any bets?
Bretonnia, because he sent it in.
Oh, good point. Yeah, that always does gauge it all that.
Yeah, and also the fact that he has overwhelming cavalry superiority.
Or that, and people who lose don't tend to send battles in. Oh, I know.
Well, to be fair, it could have been like from him. He sent the replay to him, and then he sent it off. I don't know.
Talk says he bets Bretonnia.
Bretonnia does have had the advantage in this matchup. because
Oh yeah, the Bretonnian archer range I believe is 120. Is it, Willow? And check. I think it is.
160 for the peasant
160.
peasant archers. Yeah.
Oh, well, fuck me, that's fine.
Also, there's another thing I guess we should point out is that the reason why you pull and drag your archers as far along as you can is that it makes it so that it's less likely that a unit will get hit, where arrows will just go over or under the unit, where if they're too compact, the arrows tend to hit everything really effectively.
Yeah, now you see a reason why you shouldn't bring like one lord against like one flying lord if you don't have anything to protect him. Like the peasant archers can protect him. You can do it like Psycho did with handgunners, because handgunners can reasonably countershoot any flying enemy lord, but like he can't protect.
Well, and also in the build that I had, the Empire General can hold his own against any other enemy lord long enough for them to get shot. In this scenario, the prophetess can't survive. Period.
Yeah, and if you're gonna
like if he had a unit of like Hippogriff Knight, Royal Hippogriff Knights, he could drive them off, but then he'd have to waste it protecting the prophetess, and now he has to run away forever.
Yeah, plus if you're gonna bring a lord to heal, just bring a Fey Enchantress. She's just better in every regard. More survivable, more damage, more effect, and a tactical nuke on your board.
Yeah, you see like volume on fires on the left really good. Like I think it was Questing Knights or Grey Knights getting basically dragged down by like a couple of units of archers because he's not engaging at the same time. I mean, I guess he's under pressure, so he needs to do something. But he lost one unit of cav. So this is how the high ups can win this game, by just literally picking apart and focusing all their archer fire on one enemy unit of cav.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the next one.
Bretonnia's main advantage is that if they could just spread their cavalry out and force the elves to pull themselves apart, constantly running away. Because right now, this is like the worst case scenario for the Bretonnians.
Oh, that's quite a spell.
That is a...
Yeah, the Bretonnians are using basically all of their cav to fuck over like one unit of Loth and Seaguard, which is also anti-large, so...
Yeah, where they should be spread out, pushing all of the different units away, or pulling their focus fire away. And lining up. Here we go. Okay, good charge on the guard, but what that should happen is he should be retreating immediately. And then running back in. And also you see he has like 3 units fighting a single unit of Dragon Princes. Oh, did I get cut out?
No, you're still.
Okay, yeah. And we see I think the prophetess is either dead or been driven off.
No, she's getting.
She's getting killed by Altharion, terrorized.
Yeah, there we go.
But also not a good use for Atharion, because Atharion killing like a prophetess that is like 1,000 gold less than him.
Well, but also when you think about it in the morale sense, that's a drop of like what, 8 morale.
Still, I mean, I guess honestly, it takes away the healing. It takes away a lot of the stuff from the Bretonnians.
It also means he had to sit and micro that unit constantly to run it away while not microing his knights. Like if he had an eagle instead of like one of the Lothran Seaguard, he could have just threw the eagle at it and there'd been nothing.
But I honestly don't know where Atharion is going. He's currently moving away to the edge of the map, but the prophet is
to terror out.
I think he's chasing down peasant mob.
Oh, not a good usage for the old Lotharion. Trying to chase off some peasants.
Oh well. But yeah, the general's out of the battle now, though.
Yeah, well, the prophetess is back, although she's just doing overcast.
I think it was an overcast heal. Oh, no, it wasn't heal.
It was a heal, I believe.
Yeah, but now the elves are basically, I think they have 2 units of skirmish cav left, and that's about it.
No Lotharion flying around, which
they might have some like might have 1 Shadow Warriors left.
Like, even though like when Bretonnia kind of like clumped up a lot of their cavalry, just because of how much cav he had, he could just brute force his way through everything the High Elves had, because he had no proper spear units or anti-cav. Because Lothran Seaguard, as much as people might think, oh, but they counter the cavalry, any decent cavalry unit can beat down a Lothran Seaguard very easily, because they're very low armor and not that good at fighting.
Yeah, they're basically only good against like light cav, like you look at Reavers and Mounted
Hounds.
Yeomen and such stuff. But also clumping up the units again for the Bretonnia is not good. If there's like one burning head going through, he will lose like most of that shit.
Also, gotta say,
Actually,
they're not
because
good.
of their armor being too high, they actually lost no health from the burning head. But the thing is, if he had piercing bolts of fire, that would have just ended the game right there. In that big clump he had.
Or if he had a... Actually, no. Here comes another burning head, actually.
If you had a flamestorm.
Flamestorm too, yeah.
That burning head wiping out the rest of that Lothern Sea God unit.
Yeah, the rest of his own units.
At this point, this is not a good situation for Arthurian. You do not want to get a big Griffin Lord like this surrounded. That is not what you want happening to him, especially by armor-piercing, heavy, anti-large cav.
Large and armor-piercing cavalry just wailing on him all day.
I mean, I guess Arthurian had the Hester bombardment with the mist,
Not
the rage,
doing an awful amount of damage there.
I mean, it was basically like the High Elves got really outplayed at the start with the builds.
Yeah.
The spam of cav was just too much for the High Elves at this point. Maybe we can fast forward this a little bit. Although he is leaving Lotharian alone now, he's letting him escape maybe. He isn't. Oh no, he's getting back in on them.
To spread the message of the knights.
Yeah, now he's getting back in on them. The Firecaster just being chased in the distance. I think he's trying to get some cycle charging off, but he risks like him to be able to take off and go after the Prophetess or something.
Yeah. Oh, the Prophetess is still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Although
wow,
now with Lotharian gone, that'll be it.
Yeah. I guess I have a replay of an army sort of similar to this, but instead there's the Fey Enchantress double paladin.
Alright, I say we got one more time for one more. Let me just see if there's any other. It's exceptionally good ones I remember.
Yeah, there's one called like Brett and then Emp replay, where it's capital B RET versus Emp, and then that one's it's similar to that, but instead it's a Fey Enchantress with slightly less massed cavalry.
Right. I would show this one, but Zerk already casted it.
Haha. We don't know about. There's. Yeah, it was Lycus putting necrotic beating Willow.
No. Why would you do that?
But do you see it?
Don't have it here. Doesn't seem.
I guess you could load it. I guess.
What's this one? This one has high elves in it. Which one was this one? Oh yeah, this was.
Stream.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was. I don't. Yeah.
Oh, we have a. These gay. I could show this one actually. This one was a fair good fight. This looks like a good one, turns out. This is good. Bretonnia getting a lot of attention today. Maybe next session. This will be the last session next week on High Elves and Empire and then Bretonnia.
Are we doing another session?
Yeah, one more next week, I think.
Okay.
We can cover matchups, give more a bit of attention to High Elves, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just do a shorter one, like maybe a 1 hour one instead. And then we'll have more of a break for between the voting period as well, and then the week after.
Yeah.
We go
I mean, I
between
could throw out a vote today or something, and then I have
Yeah, and see what we get.
like a week or something.
Yeah, okay, maybe good. Let's watch this replay with me in it. It's that I'm playing the greenskins in this. This was a world championship. This is the first. I believe this is the one of the first stage 2 games to be finished between me and Grombrindle.
Yep.
Now bets on who wins this.
You're willing to show it?
Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? I probably wouldn't be showing it otherwise.
Kind of given it
Giving
up
that
right
away, yeah. But so for my build here, you've got the old classic Death Star of Doom, Double Stone Troll, Black Orc Big Boss, Arachnarok, Death Hag, Scarsnake, and then going with Black Orcs on the sidelines and a Goblin front line to absorb Peasant Archer-Fire, while the Black Orcs can perform pretty well against all the Bretonnian Knights. Got a couple of bits of skirmish cav on the side just to apply poison where the Arachnarok isn't already doing it, or the 8 Pig Loonies as well, which are just a good solid holding unit, and if they can get their spinny off on a big blob of cav, they can do a really good amount of damage. Looking over at the old Bretonnia army over here, Spearmen at Arms, 2 units, just more of a front line with some Peasant Mob in the middle. We have the combo of the Fey along with the Green Knight and a Paladin on a horse. This is a typical normal. You might see 2 paladins, you might see Green Knight paladin, but typically you'll see the Fae with some bodyguard heroes to guard her. In this situation,
Green Knight
it's
is
the
probably
Green
a
Knight.
better choice against
Greenskins.
because Greenskins don't have a lot of magic damage.
No, and
except
they
if bring
not
Discord,
normally bring it.
and also terror causing unit.
Yeah, which you do really want
Don't
against
have a lot of terror causing
stone
unit,
trolls.
especially if you go for the Fae. So
As the Cav, we've got, of course, you've got the Peasant Bowman fire arrows here and pox arrows. Fire arrows doing better against trolls, pox arrows just being able to apply poison. Another unit of fire arrows there. The entirety of the Cav being, well, actually no, there's one unit of Knight Errant, but the rest of it being Questy Knights, just performing very well against green-skinned monsters, against Black Orcs, against Arachnorcs, against Stone Trolls, doing very well there.
Anything that has actual value to an orc.
Yeah. And Knights of the Realm Knights Errant can just be good at mopping up like archers and goblins and the likes, or just doing some good cycle charging.
Apparently, Aranthil says that he's learned that the answer to Bret and Phoenix Guards and Sylvan Guard.
It tends to be more of a
Willow,
boxy
you might want
formation.
to end the stream again because it apparently is a it is a
end the
PowerPoint
board.
presentation basically. So
Oh, is
end
that okay?
the
I'll
stream
end
maybe.
the discussion.
You're gonna have us being like 10 seconds late then. I mean, it's also your games.
See, is it better? Somebody watch it. Somebody look at the stream. Is it, zooming around.
Really better at the moment.
Waiting for it to catch up.
Okay, I'll just have a look around. Let's start the old battle again. Yeah, look at some spiders.
There we go. It's
Spider
back
gob-
to normal.
Back normal, cool. Give it a place. So the lines moving up here, as you might expect.
But any comments on that statement?
Wait, let's have
What was the statement again?
The statement was the answer to Bretonnians is Sylvan Guard and Phoenix Guard.
Sylvan Guard definitely do quite good against cavalry. A Phoenix Guard sort of box can perform quite well as long as you don't bring the Fae. The thing is the Fae, if you bring like the Fae on foot, it can do a lot of damage. Those Phoenix Guard, also trebuchets can be a really good target. So if you are bringing something like that, you'd ideally want to bring some bolt throwers and then maybe something to kill the Fae with, like
no, it's more
Pegasus
problem
Lord.
is that the Phoenix Guard get ripped apart by archers.
Yeah, the Archer Fire, but ideally you should actually. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Silver Guard won't get.
Guard.
Silver Guard will do pretty well because they won't get
Sylvan
shredded.
Guard, good idea. Phoenix Guard, just get ripped apart by archer fire.
They also get shredded by trebuchets.
You're
and
better
likes.
off in the front line of rangers, like 3 or 4 ranger units just to chop through the peasants, and then 2 or 3 archers with about 2 Sylvan Guard on the flanks just in case, and then boom whatever the fuck else you want.
Yeah.
Okay, let's resume. So we have a very strong core here, just rushing into the middle, hoping to just barrel through, hopefully, and get into the archers. I'm moving back the most of it here, just to try and stay out of the range of fire and dodge while while the rest of the front line catches up. Although that just means that the Ahirs, they just seem to be getting a lot more fire off than they should be able to.
But also, it's important that the goblins are taking some of the fire.
Of course, I
And
see
the
the Fae is
goblins
charged in,
keep
and I
heading
just
off.
move everything in to try and kill her simultaneously.
'Cause
And
once
he
the
in
Fae
turn
dies-
moved in the Questing Knights to try and counter that, and it's just a very big mash. He has the Archer Fire.
Actually,
I have the superior numbers.
technically, because the archers are exposed, the goblin spider rider archers.
Yeah, that is
have
actually what I do
shield.
here. I do get one of these units here with the Goblin Spider, especially with Warpop. They'll actually do fairly well there. And this other one, I'm trying to run around the side here to do that. This engagement.
Is it the queen or is it the normal spider?
The what?
The queen? Is it the?
Oh no, it's a regular
Arachnorc
queen.
queen,
Yeah, it's a regular queen.
Red.
Not the queen.
And there's the mushroom.
The Stone
Just a-
Trolls here taking a lot of damage from the end.
build
Crescent
you
Knights.
first made, wasn't it? Willow, Green Skins?
Is it?
Yeah, when the DLC first came out, you made something very similar.
Did I?
It wasn't Black Orcs, it was Night Goblin.
The rest of these companions of Quenelles will do very well, but here I get a pretty good usage off of the old Night Goblin Fanatic. In fact, it just goes off. Like he's
the
standing,
Beyblade
doing
is
this fair
really
amount of
nice.
damage
Is
against
he about to
companions.
nuke his own unit there?
No, he didn't hit much there with that nuke.
It was close.
Here,
that it was
here I'm
about
just
to
trying to
hit.
kill the Fae as quickly as possible because I know that's where all the healing is coming from. So if I
He's
can kill the
running
Fae
into
early,
the Night Goblin Fanatics as well,
it'll be
just
for the
to do
best.
more damage on him.
yeah, he wasn't able to micro out with them just in time. These Stone Trolls getting chased off by the companions of the Quenelles, which is a big loss for them. They took so much damage, but they could regenerate so much more.
I feel
They
like most of the games
definitely
seem
wanted
like
to kill
heavily
them.
one-sided.
do. I mean, it's hindsight. But,
We need to get Alexis v
Two
Willow.
Stone Trolls getting chased up by one Quenelle. Holy shit.
Well, the game I suggested was very close.
There's one Tomb.
I hear the Fae going in, going after the Death Hag.
There's the Tomb King's one as well.
Yeah, Willow didn't show up because he wasn't in there.
The Tox one, the you and Tox, the Tomb King one. Is that one? I don't know.
Yeah, you know why I made a new build?
Yeah.
You said it was meta, and it's like, well, I've never seen you use this before.
Yeah. I thought it was more of a Tomb King game than it was a High Elf game.
Yeah, you see the Bretonnian player keeps as much pressure on the trolls as possible.
Yeah, he's already wiped out one unit, and he is finishing off this one. Back here though, the Fae going in against Skarsnik,
So
falling.
I'll have to point out here, the main problem for the Bretonnia player was when selection screen you picked on Bretonnia. That's a big problem. You want to avoid that.
Was down to the Vesta 3, so he
anyways,
is down to it.
The other thing to point out is trolls actually kind of have a problem against those like the Grail Knights because of the physical resist allows them to protect them from the armor piercing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
trolls.
dwarves, Empire would be better.
Here I just send the Black. Here we have the Death Hag getting chased off by the Paladin. I just send the Black Orc Big Boss after the Paladins to try and stop that from happening because of how much health the Hag has left. She could definitely rally quite easily if I just get that Paladin off of her. Back here, most of the Bretonnian everything is gone. He put so much of his money into those single entities, it's all he's going to have left in the end. Apart from the peasant mob just occasionally
Also,
rallying.
Without the Hag, I don't think Willow has anything that can kill the Green Knight effectively.
No, which is why I really work quite hard here to get the Paladin off of her.
Why can the Hag kill the... Oh, Spirit Leech.
Yeah, Spirit Leech is kind of the only thing that'll kill the Paladin, the Green Knight,
Yeah,
with
Green
any
Knight.
level of efficiency.
That Willow has, yeah.
I mean, he might be able to drag it down with Skarsnik and
Maybe just surround
yeah.
it and leave it till last.
Pretty
but-
much, he'd have to throw everything else
just
at it. to
brute
try and
force
kill
it, everything, killing everything else and then killing the Green Knight. He will be annoying as fuck until
Funny thing here, the Paladin's actually beating down the Black Orc Big Boss.
Yeah, one mistake Willow made here probably was not winning, like, just Fistigore.
Yeah, perhaps if Fistigore could have to bring another source of
Probably
average.
better because it's slow.
I was
Yeah,
tempted to bring Wurzag.
Bombardment.
Like, when the Green Knight was in that blob, a Fistigorg would have effectively ended the Green Knight there.
Ragnarok getting surrounded by some very armor-piercing anti-large cav, definitely going to take some damage from that.
And the Paladin back to chasing the Hag.
Here the goblins engage, and along with Skarsnik's buff, they'll actually do quite a fair amount of damage, and especially when I rampage them, means they're almost certainly going to get hit by these goblins. So they're going to take a lot of damage from goblins. Managed to rally my Death Hag here, because I managed to get the Paladin off, and that means Spirit Leeches for all. Because I still have so many magic left at this point, that I can have so many Spirit Leeches to throw out. I throw out one on the Paladin, and I get ready to throw one onto the Green Knight when my Ragnarok breaks.
And
Remember,
every time
never overcast Spirit Leech because it only increases the range of the spell.
Yeah. And
That is
also, yeah, every time a Deathcaster casts, they get magic.
Yes, so they get a bit more cast, which makes just spamming Spirit Leeches even better. As you see, the only spell I have on her is Spirit Leech. That is the only spell I brought this entire game, is Spirit Leech. 'Cause that's all you need.
Spell worth bringing.
Here I'm just trying to
You made it the
avoid...
Green Knight to save
Yeah,
the
the Hag, yeah, slow him down. And then once he gets stuck at this point, as long as it doesn't even matter what's fighting the Green Knight, as long as the Death Hag lives, you can just whittle him down, because the Fae's gone at this point, so there's no healing left for him, unless he goes camps in the forest for the whole game. Which would be against banner rules at this point, I believe.
Banner rules! Yeah, and we've got like a full health of green.
Yeah, the Black Orcs, yeah.
Green, black
Green
boys.
boys. Yeah, and of course Black Orcs having immune to psychology means the old Green Knight's terror won't have any effect on them. Why would the green be afraid of the green?
Oh, we be black.
Please be green and black, black and green.
And now he's gonna turn you black and blue.
Yeah, so all he has left here really is the archers and the Green Knight. It's not... I can catch up with the archers quite easily and just whittle down the Green Knight at this point with Spirit Leeches. So one more Spirit Leech just to force him, and he realises he's lost, so he just charges in. The fight's to the bitter end.
Yep, and there's another Spear Leech.
And that's all she wrote for Bretonnia.
See, I told you somebody watches Turn too much.
Do I watch Turn too much? I didn't realise.
You just quoted him directly.
Did I?
Yeah.
What did I say?
Point in case.
What did I say?
Actually, how much time do we have left?
It's mostly over now. It's been the 2 hours, I think.
And
I mean,
no,
we have
it's
as
only
long as
been
we
like
want.
1 hour.
It's been 48 minutes when I tuned in.
Has it been
so
an
it's
hour?
20 minutes ago. So it's been
Yeah,
an
it's
hour
only
and a half.
been like an hour. We could probably. There's.
No, it's been 2 hours.
Yeah, I think you
Yeah, it's been 2
started
hours.
like
Yeah, we
half an
started
hour
at
early
6:30.
because I joined.
Yeah, 2 hours
it's
ago.
an hour and a half.
2 hours. Did we start about 1:30?
We started like around like 10:30, 10:40.
I thought it was close to the end, close to half. So it's been about hour 3/4. Yeah, closer to 2 hours.
Pretty much.
Which means
Yeah.
we'll still have time to go over that game with me and Todd.
Yeah, either we could do the in-caps Tomb King game, which might be useful, or we could go over the one where the one I had against the Bretonian, where they used the peasant front line.
Do you know what that
Basically,
was
which-
called?
Which one have
Do
you
we
done
have
last
one
night?
with high elves in it? Because
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say.
know. How many do we even have of high elves left?
Yeah, we don't have many high elf ones left. That's the problem.
okay,
Yeah.
then just do a Bretonnia one, then you can do high elf next, collect some more replays.
Yeah. Well,
Everybody
there's-
ping Mad Dog to get some replays for him.
Yeah. So there is 1 second. Yeah, there's in-caps Tomb King versus high elves, and then there's my Bretonian versus Empire again. Oh. Yes, the one I did was the one where I said it was a very close match.
Where is it? Oh, this one. Very close match.
Yeah,
Breakfast Limp. Isn't this one already? Did I not download this one? Apparently
No,
not.
there's the one with like Brett where it's like mostly lowercase.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Brett versus Imp. Wait, this is another Bretonnia game.
Yeah.
I just realised.
Yes, it is. It is another Bretonian game.
There's just not a lot of high elf games being sent in, unfortunately.
Yeah, not really. We could
Yeah, we're
probably
gonna
save the
collect some
high
more
elf
for
for
next week.
the next one. For the next
Yeah,
one.
for the next session we'll do more of a focus on
So
them.
we'll just do that Bretonian one too.
Brett versus Imp. Here we go.
Yes. You'll see a major difference in this build, as you'll see. I have a guy with a red beard now. But you'll see it's if you remember Kirk from the previous replay with the High Elf versus Bretonnia, but he has the Fey Enchantress now instead of Prophetess.
Ooh.
But just as many questing knights.
So you're Bretonnia, then.
I'm Empire. And
Empire. So you want to go through your army? Oh yeah, of course you got the classic. Yeah.
the
Yeah,
good
you
old
said, yeah.
classic pike and shot.
General of
And
Empire
the
meant to be this far
difference-
up, or is he here for some specific reason?
He is. Wait. Oh, because I know that he has a bunch of archers. So.
No, you just thought you'd keep him back on. I thought he was just scouting for something.
Oh yeah, I know. I just kind of left him there because he's fast. But I brought a firecaster with flaming skull and cascading cloak of flame, and flaming sword of ruin.
Yeah, triple. The flaming sword of ruin. Of course, you can negate the physical resistance of the Grail Knights and the Companions of Quenelles, and also, of course, if you bring the Green Knight as well, you can slam into that with some magical damage. Over here on the Bretonnia side, I think we've seen this army before, except from has the Fey and the double Paladin, which is the improvement here, to be sure.
Yes.
Bringing Questing Knight to the back line, and 1 unit of Grail Knights. So this one actually within banner rules, as he has 4 units of Questing Knights. Although actually, can you check that, Lycus? I think it's 4 that's allowed. I think it's 4. It's not 3. Yeah, it wouldn't be 3, it'd be 4. Yeah, 4 would be
no,
fine.
it was-
just checked and
It's 4, is it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alright, so we get this battle underway.
Yes, we will. Yeah, because also again, since he has no flying units and only 2 archers, I can pretty much fly my lord wherever I want.
Yeah,
him
you
to.
can fly him wherever he is. He's just chilling in the back right now, it seems.
Yeah. I bring up my riders on the side, seeing if like he'd turn his archers to shoot, because I was thinking of getting some free shots. Yeah, 4 questing Night Talk says.
4, yeah, that's
Yeah,
allowed,
I'm pretty
yeah.
much coming up, seeing if I can get some free shots on him before his archers do anything.
The hill did get in a bit in the way of that, but I did get a volley off or two.
They're still getting a couple of volleys off. And then one of them was a little too eager to
I think the hill was getting him in a way, so they moved away closer than they should have.
Yeah. And then the skirmish, being hilarious, decided to skirmish all the way towards the enemy army.
Oh dear. Getting
Ran
caught up
up,
there.
shot him in the face, and then ran away. They skirmished back into, and then my handgunners, I think, opened fired on them. Yeah, I have to pull them this way, and then I decided to make lemons by using them to hold them still while I shoot the Grail Knights from far away. And yeah,
He's sitting back here, wary of all those guns that the Empire has. But probably should try and get into the front line somewhere so she can apply that Mortis Engine effect. Sending the Paladins in. The General of the Empire still sat back here.
he's
Just chilling around. Yeah,
Well, because he has 4 questing knights, so I don't want to land him in.
yeah, landing, and the 2 double Paladin as well, yeah. So definitely a very risky maneuver to land him anywhere.
I think I might have legitimately forgot where he was for a while.
Penny's when I was going for a really wide
You can
flank.
see how much damage I do to the Grail Knights with the Outriders.
Yeah,
like,
you do
even if
just
I
too much
lose-
gunpowder. Gunpowder just does a lot of damage to them.
Yeah, Pistoliers shooting freely into the questing knights. And, oh yeah, I dropped a Cascading Cloak of Flames on the Flangellans on the left, and they just evaporated the peasant mob.
Carrot charge there just to hold those in place so they can get shot with the handgunners, but another unit is coming around to get into those handgunners. Ooh, a Comet coming down, doing a fair bit of damage there against the Empire infantry. The Fae being in the ideal situation here, just Mortis engineering all these units around here. Even if she is getting surrounded, she'll be able to heal up, and the Archer's also going to be able to fire in, be able to get a lot of value from the Fae there. Paladins could be sitting and helping her.
Sword, I believe. Oh yeah, I was gonna land him, but then I realized questing knights. And
Yeah,
then
he landed
the
into
other-
the old
and also
questing
the
knights.
other unit that was about to get charged. Yeah, you'll see him drop in.
These questing knights getting shot by all the gunpowder in the world. The Fae getting all the Mortis Engine effect off in this area. Wait, got one? Yeah, she still has it.
Yeah, she still has it.
General of the Empire wearing off these questing knights. The crazy Cornells getting into these handgunners.
Because he is terror causing, meaning that
Yeah,
once
although I
terror
think
out the
questing knights are immune psychology though.
Oh, they are. Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah, the Dragon Slayers, they ain't scared of some big bird.
That's true. That's true. They go on quests.
Go on mighty quests to kill bigger birds. But yeah, here the Fae just getting a lot of value just with all the Mortis Engine effect that she can do to those massed up infantry. The Paladins keeping her safe from any big threats like the General. It's quite clear that 2 camps are sort of forming with the rest of the peasant mob reforming here.
Yeah, we've got the left and the right, and I think I ran my Outriders into the Archers to kind of break them up at the least. Didn't work out so well. Handgunners backed up, came back and just started shooting back into the Knights. Oh my god, the Flangellans is getting shot to pieces.
Yeah, a lot of Archer fire getting into those.
But they're unbreakable, so they're just
Yeah,
gonna
they're not
keep
going to run.
fighting.
They don't care if they're getting shot by poisonous arrows.
Yeah.
Some sort of flaming skull, I believe,
They-
coming
they
through
don't-
here. Just being able to, if you apply that burnt debuff to peasants, it'll definitely get rid of a lot of their leadership.
Yeah.
Also, it's going to perfectly go through some of these archers here, it seems.
Yeah, this is where I drop a burning head, and it decided to veer, I think, to the right.
If had it just stuck to that course, it looks like it would have hit those archers perfectly, but it was a little bit off to the
Yeah,
right.
it went. Yeah, it went. Oh my god, that angle! It angled right before it hit them.
The lady blocked the flaming skull.
And then, oh yeah, this is where she kind of comes in, and this is like the last glob
Yeah,
that's
again,
still fighting.
the Fae just applying that Mortis Engine debuff consistently there to the Flagellants and the Spearmen. Could be going for that Firecaster with the Paladins, just going into the Flagellants instead.
I think I pull the Firecaster into the spears at some point, so that he can't get hit.
Hmm. Given the flagellants plus cascading fire cloak, so they can last a bit longer as well.
And also because since it doesn't apply magic damage, unlike Flaming Sword or Ruin, it makes it so that the magic resist off of the Fey Enchantress won't affect. Yeah, this is where I start bringing in, because most of the spear units had all been relatively untouched the entire match.
They tend to be left alone for quite a while.
Yeah, which kind of worked in my favor because I just had a ton of spearmen that could sit and hold around the firecaster. Yeah, he started sending his paladins after the caster.
Yeah, at this point, but he's got a lot of spearmen to tie them down with.
Yep, the general coming around, getting at those quested knights.
See just the value that the Phase generated at this point. Yeah, 1,300 value.
Yeah, this is where the general
Although at this point you tear out off the Fey. But the 2 paladins also dive in on you, but you've got so many buffs there. Your melee defense goes up to 83.
Cascading Cloak of Flames and does almost 800 armor piercing damage in insta-gibbs. And with the splash damage, he actually does a bunch of damage to both paladins and wiped out all of the other knights.
Yeah, I believe. Do they tear out as well?
Splash damage still applied since you're focusing on one target. I think it is. Not right.
No, I think because there's 2 types of splash damage. There's like the model hitting a bunch of units, and then the actual splash damage, which does that to everything around that one unit, right?
I'm unsure.
Yeah, and then both of those guys.
Ooh, tasty. The peasant's getting cooked up there.
Yeah. Yep, and then
that'll probably be the end of the game, because all that's really left is the paladin.
Yep. Yeah, and I chase down the paladin, and this is where the mass route comes.
Yeah, the mass route should come in and into effect any second now. Yeah, there it goes.
There we go, yeah.
And that's game.
It is, okay.
Ooh, so take a quick look at some values. You can see the Fey just getting a huge amount of value just from the Mortis Engine effect, and the old comment she threw down as well. Paladins getting fairly good damage. They didn't manage to fight the general for as long as they could have been. Peasants being peasants, although that one actually paying for itself. That one as well.
I don't think they would have been able to kill him with the buffs he had.
No, maybe if they had got a surround on him, maybe one like
maybe.
But Questing Knights, this unit Questing Knights did quite well. Real Knights did okay. Companions of the Cornells did okay. Just getting shot up so much that really ruined their chances of getting a good value. Sigmar Sons did quite well though. I think they got into some good targets.
They pretty much just sat and fought. Same with the Flangellants.
Oh, some good value from those Pistoliers as well.
Oh yeah, they just sat there shooting into the side of the Questing Knights the entire match.
Yeah.
And the Empire General getting almost his value.
Yeah. All right then. That is the end of today's training session.
I think what I was thinking is that if he dropped like one of the Questing Knights and brought 2 or 3 more archers, then there wouldn't have been much I could do against that army. Because he could just outshoot all my handgunners.
Yeah, you could have just outshot them all if he had brought some more peasant archers.
Yeah.
Alright then, well this will be the end of the session. Thank you for watching. Farewell.